Nope. Gosh. Yep, yep, yep. All right. Get it going today, shall we? New week. Time to do the things. Oh, hello. Yes, you are. This is true. You are the first one. Okay. Music. Music. Good morning, Scuba Steve. Good morning, Trademark. Wasn't showing up on YouTube. That's weird. Let's start getting those taps up. Repost. Let's not have a case of the Mondays. That's what we're trying. We're trying not to have a case of the Mondays. Thank you, Trademark. Yeehaw. I love you, Lenati. I love you. Te quiero mucho, mi amor. I love Lenati more. No, you don't. It's not true. Happy Monday, Dark Eagle, Surgeon. Good morning. Hi, Jay. Good morning, Ray. Good morning to whatever woke time zone that you live in. I appreciate you guys being here. Happy Monday. It's Monday, start of a new week. Let's get it started off on the right foot here. I appreciate it if you chose to start it with me. So thank you. It means a lot to me. As we get started this morning, if you are watching over here on TikTok, We're starting great. I can't speak already. Yay! Let's start tapping that screen, please. We like to hit 50,000 likes before the top of the hour, really 100,000, because you guys were on a streak. We had, 3 days of like 400,000 at the end of my stream, so I know you guys can hit that 300,000 mark, so I expect that of you. So let's start tapping that screen, please. Start filling that bar down here on the bottom. I know that you guys can get that accomplished, so let's do that. While we're sitting here, make sure you are reposting, especially right now. Repost the live. Add it to your story, share it to 5 of your friends or whatever TikTok group chats you got going on over here. Make sure you share it out. Just helps push us out onto that algorithm. And once I start showing articles, videos, we tend not to be able to do that anymore. So let's make sure that we can repost, add to story, and share the live out right now. Best way to do it. All right, send your daily heart me if you have not done so. Should be the little heart next to my name up here at the top, obviously, because you're following me already. And if you're not following me, please follow me. Then you can send your daily heart me. Gives you access to stickers in the chat that you can use. There's a lot of fun ones of my face, and people have caught my face in... I guess I have an expressive face. I don't know. They be catching my face in great still shots, and that's what we use over there for our stickers. For a lot of them, we have other fun ones in there as well. Guys, I had the little, I did have the little, thank you so much, Robbie. I had the roses. I will set up a different little 1 coin gift up here that we can get accomplished. As we get those accomplished, it just helps with the live, helps push the live out as well. Also, by the way, if you are looking up as you're doing your daily heart me, you can click on my profile picture. It's going to show at the bottom a little like orange looking line that says C for gift gallery. Let's start lighting up those gifts for the week, brand new week. So we've got the roses, the donuts, and the hat mustaches lit up. Thank you so much, Robbie, Ari, and Trademark. So if you have TikTok coinage that you can do for that, let's get started and light up that gift gallery this week. I would appreciate it. We were able to do it last week through all of your guys' wonderful help. Let's do it this week. Okay, so let's work on that. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for me. I would appreciate it so very much if you would do so. Again, same kind of situation as on TikTok, helps push us out onto the algorithm over there on YouTube Shorts in particular. I have a number up on the screen to have conversations with Trump supporters. People are still supporting Trump. We always start with our midterm Monday section on Mondays, but I do have that number up to have good faith conversations. Don't know if that's possible with y'all who are still supporting Trump at this point in time, but it's there. I want to have conversations based off of factually based evidence and not your feelings. So if you make a claim, I'm going to ask you to source that claim. Don't ask me to do it for you, but once you find it, I will gladly bring it up onto the screen for everybody else to view, but you are going to be the one to find it because you believe it, so you've seen the evidence, I would hope, or else you just believe things that you're told. So that would be wonderful. I would appreciate it so very much if we could hit that thumbs up. If you're watching as well over on YouTube, you can subscribe. You can become a member. You can send jewels and you can send super chats in case the chat starts going by way too fast and you have something you would really like me to read, whether that's a hate message, a message of support, or you want to say something to all of my platforms. That is a sure way for it to get read so that you can do that. Good morning over there on Twitch. I see you all. Good morning. Welcome in. Most of you are already following me over here. But as I just saw, thank you so much, Doberman's Rock, for the subscription using your Prime. Guys, remember, if you pay for Prime, Jeff Bezos gives you 1 free Prime sub a month to use on Twitch. Why not use it for me the same way that Doberman's Rock just did? Thank you so much. So you guys can subscribe over there. It also gives you access to emotes in the chat that are similar to the ones that I have over here on TikTok. I appreciate it. And you can send bits over there as well. Thank you, guys. Now, I have my 150 goal that I have every single day. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. I am on for 3 hours. So we pay for women's labor on this platform and the work that we put into doing what we're doing to run this show. So if we could crowdfund to get that accomplished, you can dollar train, you can $2 train, you can $5 train. Let's start getting that goal down in the 3 hours that we have, okay? Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio across all platforms. If you're over here on YouTube, you can see it here. On Twitch, I think you can see it down there. So thank you, Sparky, so much for the hand hearts. I appreciate that. And we will get started this morning. Thank you, Peter. I wasn't going to start my day without it.
Oh my God, I have crabs.
Thank you, Peter, for giving me crabs on this wonderful Monday. You know, I was able to take care of them over the weekend, so we have to start all over again. All right, let's get ourselves going with our election calendar that we do every single Monday, kind of see where we are in regards to primaries. Okay. My button's going to be sticky today. It is. Awesome. Great. Alabama, you have quite a few I'm not sure what's going on in Alabama, but here we go. Alabama District 1, new primary date for Alabama congressional districts, August 11th. Alabama District 2, your new primary date is going to be August 11th. Alabama District 6, August 11th. And Alabama District 7th, your new primary date for is going to be tomorrow, August 11th. So make sure that you're up to date on that if you are in Alabama's District 1, 2, 6, 7. Okay? If you're in Connecticut, tomorrow is your statewide primary election. Congratulations if you have not voted already. Tomorrow is election day for your primary elections in Connecticut. Same situation if you are in Minnesota. Minnesota, your statewide primary election is tomorrow if you have not voted already. South Carolina, you have local elections tomorrow. South Carolina, you also have a special primary for Republican candidates to fill the vacancy in nomination in the office of U.S. Senator from South Carolina. Now, we've talked about that one. Why? Because that is the one that Darlene Graham is hoping to take over for her no longer with us brother, Lindsey Graham. So, if you're in South Carolina and you're in the Republican Party and you're able to vote, I don't know if anybody was even running against her, to be honest. She will most likely get that nomination, so it will be a fight in November between most likely her and the Democrat in that seat. If you're in Vermont, which is crazy because nobody lives in Vermont because Vermont's not real, Vermont, you have your statewide primary election tomorrow as well, and if you are in Wisconsin, you have your statewide primary election also. And then Texas, you have some local elections coming up this Saturday, August 15th. Okay? So make sure you pay attention. Ballotpedia is a great source for your election calendar. It's also a great source to be able to get information. Polls show people aren't happy with Darlene, though. Is somebody running against her, Audie? To be fair, I haven't looked into it that hard. So I don't know if anybody's running against her. Hey, I'm real. Steve is real. You guys are real, but where you live doesn't seem to be real. So just a good place. Ballotpedia is a good place to even get information on candidates. They usually have surveys they send out to candidates that they fill out. Sometimes they don't fill those out, so then you have to do a little bit of extra work. But when they do fill out those surveys, it is a great tool to use to be able to see what their stance is, their platform, and what they're running on. I think a great way to look at things. So we love Ballotpedia here. That's how we get our day started on midterm Mondays. Now I can move that along. Boop. I gotta put him back, though. Unfortunately, jump scare for everybody. I apologize. There's that. Put that back so we can get started here. I will turn the phone lines on. I see that somebody was trying to call, but I like to get through my midterm Monday portion before you guys do, so that we stay on track with elections before we dive into things. All right. So, phone line is open, but I will get my It's Monday. We'll get my show started. Hydrate. All right. Let's do some Iran updates. I don't have a lot, but I have a little bit. So remember, we went over last week how there are sources coming out and saying that we are low on munitions. And Donald Trump came out and posted a truth basically saying that that was not true, except for the fact that they're going to go hard on hunting down and attacking the leakers. Now, usually if there's a leak, it means that it was true information that the government did not want to get out. So which is it? Is it false information that our munition stockpile is low, or is it a leak? Which one is it? Not quite sure that we're getting a clear consensus on that, especially because, as we've said, General Kane and Pete Hegseth have both admitted in front of Congress that we are slow up on our ability to produce munitions. They are blaming that in the Biden administration, which is pretty typical, but they do agree with it. So I don't understand how we can both say it's not real, but also a leak. 9 people are running against Darlene Graham. All right, you have some options down there in South Carolina. All right. So this was Trump in the Oval Office last week about the munition stockpiles. Again, this was after his truth claiming that it's not true, that our munitions are low, and also we're going after leakers. And he contradicts himself in his own statement once again.
Mr. President, on munitions, you posted overnight that the U.S. has a massive amount.
That's right.
You denied that there were any shortages. There is a supplemental request for $21 billion to restock. So why is that request still there? If there's
well, because we need more all the time. I mean, we need more. Look, we gave tremendous amount to Ukraine. The Biden people did.
The Biden people. Even that's frustrating. And I know that we do, I will say that does happen on both sides, which is this idea that because the president is in power, that's the reason that things are happening. Now, In this administration, it's very true because this is one of the most feckless Congresses we've ever had. They're sitting on their hands and letting Trump get away with all the things that he wants to, so this is solely his responsibility. But in way of sending weapons to Ukraine, who approved that? Like, I feel like we have to do these fucking 5th grade, 6th grade civics lessons every goddamn time that I come on here, but I guess that's what you guys pay me for. Who approves the allocation of funding and weaponry to Ukraine? Who did that? It wasn't the Biden people. He does the final sign-off because it would be stupid to veto. That's a hint for you from where it comes from. Of course DSA knows, but you're friendly. It's Congress. It is. Ukraine did. Ukraine approved it. Congress does. Congress approves what we send and where we send it. Congress. So it's stupid to say the Biden people because this was bipartisanly passed by both sides. Silly, silly, silly.
And they were given free of charge, no charge, billions.
Also, that's not true. A lot of what we are giving them in way of weaponry, or gave them, weaponry and funding was a loan. That's not true. He just lied. It was a loan to Ukraine.
Hundreds of billions of dollars. And fortunately, I built up so much during my term. I rebuilt the military and also loaded it up with a lot of stuff. We have certain types of munitions that are very powerful, that we have virtual unlimited supply. We have others where it's a little bit tighter, and we're getting them in on a daily.
Well, I mean, there is also that point. I'm not sure, JB, I'm not sure which side you're on, not that it matters, but I would agree with you. It's interesting that they tout now, well, the Biden administration gave Ukraine so many weapons, and that's why we're now trying to build back up, because he rebuilt the military in his first term, and then Biden came in, and when Donald Trump was the same one who campaigned on saying, Obama gave them blankets, and I gave them tomahawks. Like, okay, so you also gave them weaponry. Oh, okay.
Daily basis. As you know, our defense companies are building more plants right now than at any point in history. They're building plants for the Patriots, for the Tomahawks, for everything.
I would like to see evidence of that. I'm genuinely asking, just haven't seen it.
But we have certain types of munitions, which are very, they may not be as accurate. They may not be, they're not as elite. We have elite too, but we're watching that very closely. But we have certain types which are very powerful and very good, and we have an unlimited supply, and so we're in great shape. But
now that's not true. We know that that's not true because you could never have an unlimited supply of weapons in that way. So again, he is just saying shit without any proof.
With that being said, we always want more. We have to have more. We have other things maybe come up. You maybe come up and maybe don't come up. Hopefully nothing else does come up. But we're in very good.
Could you imagine going into a work review and saying, well, maybe some things will come up, maybe some things won't? Like, how are you doing at your job? Well, I could be doing good. We could be doing bad. We don't want anything else to come up, but, we're just going along. Your boss would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is a performance review.
We have literally massive amounts of ammunition. Yeah.
Can you guys hold him accountable? At all, ever? Or are you just going to continue to glaze his taint? I do not understand it. But whatever. I showed you, I don't remember if I showed you last week or the week before, Trump's Board of Peace, and it's his. It's private. It does not have to deal with the U.S. government, though he's desperately trying to tie it to that by pouring U.S. taxpayer dollars, your money, my money, into it. The Board of Peace, a separate entity from the government, trying to come up with a plan for peace in Gaza, a plan for the eventual disarmament of Hamas. Again, signing on with countries not including Palestine and Hamas, which is the government that runs the country right now. So I didn't see how we were ever going to get to that point anyway of talking about it, because would be on them to decide. Well, it doesn't matter because on top of it, one country didn't agree. Netanyahu rejects U.S.-backed Gaza peace plan, vows no military withdrawal until Hamas disarms. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday rejected a U.S.-backed Gaza peace plan and vowed there would be no military withdrawal until Hamas is genuinely disarmed. What does that mean? I don't know. I guess we'd have to take Bibi's word for it. Last month, President Trump hailed the peace plan as a historic agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas and all other groups in Gaza. He said it was negotiated by his International Board of Peace and called it a monumental step toward lasting peace and security. On Sunday, after more than a week of gradually escalating criticism of the plan, Netanyahu explicitly opposed it as he faced pushback from his right-wing base ahead of elections. Israel rejects the 15-point document, he said in a cabinet meeting, adding that the military will not make any withdrawal until Hamas is truly disarmed, and we will continue to thwart threats against our forces and citizens. Under the plan, Israeli forces would withdraw from parts of Gaza as disarmament is completed. Mr. Trump said in a Truth Social post on July 30th, with an international stabilization force and a new Palestinian police force responsible for security. And again, when I read it, we asked how would that be accomplished and who's in charge of that when you don't even have Palestine at the table for these talks. This agreement is a critical step towards Gaza finally being governed by a new Palestinian government that will work closely with the Board of Peace to help the Palestinian people, the president wrote. At the same time, Israel will have the security it deserves with Gaza no longer used as a base for terror attacks. Netanyahu, who faced calls from his far-right allies to hold a new cabinet vote and end the Gaza plan, said on Sunday that Israel is speaking with the U.S. about its objections. Thank you so much for the poop, Jules. I appreciate it. They have ideas, some of which are acceptable to us and some of which are unacceptable to us, and we know how to stand up to those things. We have proven this in the past, and we are proving it today. In addition, the IDF will continue to thwart threats against our forces and against our citizens. Netanyahu said Hamas must give up all its weapons, a goal that Board of Peace member says is not realistically achievable. That's true. I would agree with the Board of Peace on that. It is not realistic to ask Hamas to give up all its weapons, because then they have nothing to defend themselves with against Netanyahu, who simply wants to come in and take all of their territory, or his Israeli settlers who come in and take their territory. Absolutely not. We're talking about real disarmament, not fictitious disarmament, Netanyahu said. Apparently you are. You're living in Fantasyland. In response to Netanyahu's remarks, Hamas said Sunday that it remains committed to the roadmap reached by mediators and the Board of Peace. Okay, so this I had not seen. Hamas is okay with the idea of disarmament in as long as Israel starts pulling out. Our acceptance of the roadmap, despite all the challenges, reflected a sense of national responsibility upheld by the resistance factions, foremost among them Hamas. In consideration of the interests of the Palestinian people, said Bassem Naim, a member of the Hamas Political Bureau, adding that it expects mediators and the U.S. to pressure Netanyahu. The negotiations stem from a 20-point peace proposal that Mr. Trump offered last fall to end the war between Israel and Hamas. The conflict broke out with Hamas' terrorist attack on southern Israel on October 7, 2023. The conflict itself, sure, you can go back in history and see where Israel has been encroaching on their territory since the inception of Israel as a state. So, in 1948. So let's be honest about that. That was a sneeze. Excuse me. Okay. So I wanted to show that. And then we're going to take a brief excursion, as Trump likes to call it. My goodness. And go to... Oh, did I put it in here? I did. Go to one of our favorites on this show, which is More Perfect Union. Again, yes, it is a longer video, but I think that it is important because the Board of Peace not only has talked about... I can't repost yet. I played videos, Chicky. It's over. It's over. You can't repost now. Not only has the Board of Peace come out and saying they're going to come up with this peace plan, which, as we just talked about, Israel is rejecting, Netanyahu specifically is rejecting. The Board of Peace also had plans to rebuild Gaza. And who did they put in charge of rebuilding Gaza? Oh, well, Jared Kushner, who has no set role in the government. So, as we continue on, thank you, Jenny, for the facts, right? I see that you're like the only one in here. Means he probably hasn't quite left yet. But, facts SI, yay! I love that. Thank you. How come you're not answering the question since 2004 Israel has been out of Gaza? What? What? What?
Oh my God, I have crabs.
Thank you so much for the crabs. I appreciate you so very much. All right, so let's get to this More Perfect Union video on Jared Kushner and the rebuilding of Gaza, which is just an attempt, again, to colonize and make money through capitalism on land that has been taken. So,
for nearly 3 years, we watched a live stream genocide unfold in Gaza. But on the world stage, a very different vision was being shared.
Peace is a different deal than a business deal. New Gaza, it could be a hope, it could be a destination, have a lot of industry, 100% full employment and opportunity for everybody there. And if everyone thinks it's impossible, that's even more reason why you should aim for it.
Billion-dollar pledges followed. Powerful leaders signed on. Even FIFA pledged $50 million for a new Gaza football stadium. And in July, President Trump's Board of Peace announced a tentative peace agreement for Gaza. But that's where things start to get murky. There's a World Bank fund that was supposed to hold billions for Gaza's reconstruction. The balance? Zero. And at least some of the money that was supposed to go to the fund diverted into a private JP Morgan account. It's not clear who controls the account, why it exists, or how the funds are being used. So I did what we always do. I followed the networks of money, and I took a closer look at the men inside the board. I spoke with insiders, including an ex-Blackwater mercenary.
I joined Blackwater because I wanted to make money and I wanted my adventure.
The deeper I went, the more unsettling the picture became. Because Gaza doesn't just look like a place to be rebuilt. It looks like a testing ground for a new kind of control. And it could just be the start.
So as we go to get into this, I do want to say welcome in, Facts Raiders. Thank you so much for Steve for that. And you guys had Steve says hi. I love you, Steve. Thank you, friend, so much for the raid. We appreciate you guys. Welcome in. I'm Monica, or just Monida if you haven't seen me before. I run a news-oriented show, but I always leave room up there to have conversations with Trump supporters based off of factually based evidence and not their feelings. They seem to have a hard time with that. So most of the time, we run an outline, we run a show. So welcome in. Good morning. I hope you guys had a wonderful time over there with Steve and the facts that he gives you, because we know Facts gives facts, and we love that for him. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you're not following me, I would appreciate it if you would drop that follow. If you would send a daily heart me, that would also be amazing as well. I would appreciate it. And welcome in. Here we go. We are talking about the Board of Peace in regards to the rebuilding of Gaza and their plans, and how it involves really just Trump and his goons getting rich.
To understand how we got here, we need to start in the one room that was supposed to stop the suffering. Inside the UN Security Council, resolution after resolution is brought to the table, calling for ceasefires, aid corridors, and a Palestinian state. And each time, this happens.
Those against? En contra.
Those against?
Those against?
Those against?
Those against.
So when the US offers a new way to bring peace to Gaza through the Board of Peace, the Council immediately approves it. You might be thinking, why? In a generous read of the situation, the UN might have thought the US could finally put some kind of pressure on Israel. But when I sat down with journalist Casey Michel, he had a much more cynical take.
I think this was a low-cost way for other members of the United Nations Security Council to get in President Trump's good graces and to offload something that had been an extremely thorny issue elsewhere.
Whichever way you want to read it, the UN makes a huge mistake. It
I don't know why, you guys, real quick, sorry. I don't know why the YouTube chat is even talking about Fauci. You say I must support him. What is there to not support? And what crime did he commit? You guys still can't fucking tell me. And Frank, I know that you're being facetious in saying that you got all the boosters to show solidarity with Fauci. Good for you. So did President Donald J. Trump. He got all of his boosters every single time. Why? Because the science says they work, stupid.
greenlights the board without seeing its most.
By the way, I probably know why. I know why. And we'll get to that section today if I have time. We will watch the entirety of Margaret Brennan's interview with Bhattacharya.
Most important document, the Board of Peace Charter, which is revealed 2 months later. First, membership is invite only for countries and individuals. For countries, $1 billion is the price tag for a long-term seat. Palestinians have no real decision-making power, but Israel and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are invited to join as a member state. Second, Trump is made lifetime chairman of the board unless he resigns and names a successor, which means even after he's no longer president, Trump keeps that role as a private citizen. Third, the board can open private bank accounts that are harder to track or scrutinize, like the JP Morgan account I mentioned earlier. And finally, Gaza, the original purpose of this whole initiative, is never mentioned in the charter. Instead, the board's mandate is expanded to any place threatened by conflict. So, meaning anywhere. It's easy to not take the Board of Peace seriously at face value. But a say over which conflicts matter and how billions in reconstruction money can be used are massive levers of global power. To understand how that power might be used, we need to take a closer look at three men.
We're making Jared an envoy of peace, a very smart guy.
Like Jared Kushner, founding executive board member who was tasked with brokering high-stakes peace deals. Yet when you track his post-White House moves, it leads you to private equity plays, foreign funding, and investments tied to the same regions he's now meant to mediate conflicts for.
Almost immediately after Donald Trump leaves the White House in early 2021, Jared Kushner is looking for new ways to monetize his relationships that he developed in the White House. He and a number of others start something called Affinity Partners, which is a brand new private investment fund that also immediately opens itself up to foreign financing from around the world. They go to Saudi Arabia, they go to Qatar, they go to the United Arab Emirates, and the next thing they know, they have billions of dollars flowing in for this fund.
Now, I just want to point out that Donald Trump ran originally in 2016 on Drain the Swamp. This idea that you had these bloated members in Congress, in the House of Representatives and the Senate, and even at the higher levels in the cabinet, that were lobbied by these big groups that were bought and paid for. That was his whole thing. Drain the swamp because they're bought and paid for. So if you guys want to be the people that you say you are and say follow the money, then follow the fucking money. This is Jared Kushner, who has been appointed as an envoy of peace, but he has no actual role within the government of the United States of America, going over and talking to these countries in a governmental capacity while funneling money into private equity. If you want to follow the money, follow the fucking money everywhere. I don't care who they are. I don't care what their political affiliation is. Follow the goddamn money.
With that foreign money behind it, Affinity goes on to buy the largest stake in a firm called Phoenix Financial. Phoenix is an Israeli insurance firm known for investing in companies with links to illegal settlement activity and expansion.
It's not insuring just little mom and pop stores or providing health insurance in Israel. It is providing the insurance for the basic infrastructure for these settlements that are being created with, of course, Israeli backing. Jared Kushner, who again, is worth repeating, is the son-in-law of the sitting American president, has every financial incentive to push for policies that benefit Israel without any buy-in, without any incentives for the Palestinian voices on the ground to be heard.
Affinity's investment in Phoenix raises serious questions about what it means to be both a special envoy for peace and also hold investments in the Middle East, namely Israel. But beyond
Raina, you're correct. Yes. Swamps are essential for a healthy ecosystem. Draining the swamp is actually really bad. I mean it in the political terminology, but I love you for that. Thank you so much for the fact that in an ecosystem, swamps are good. Very good.
Kushner, there are two other Board of Peace members to know. First, Mark Rowan, whose Apollo Global Management is also connected to Phoenix Financial. Phoenix and Apollo have a standing deal where Phoenix can join Apollo's investments in Israel up to a total of $2 billion.
The potential here is tremendous. The coastline alone, $50 billion of value on a conservative basis. The housing stock, more than $30 billion as rebuilt. The infrastructure, more than $30 billion. $115 billion of value. It just needs to be unlocked and financed.
Why are you discussing what their land is worth as they are people who don't have a place to live because they've been so bombed by Israel? Thank you so much, Peter.
Oh my God, I have crabs.
Why the fuck are we talking about what the land is worth when people are dying? When women and children are dying? Because guess what? They should have homes to go back to, and you're talking about taking it away from them for your own means of what it could be worth. Yeah, this is what capitalism does. This is crony capitalism to the extreme.
Then there's Steve Witkoff, a Trump ally and also a special envoy of peace, whose family firm, the Witkoff Group, has also done major deals with Rowan's Apollo. Through the Witkoff Group and a crypto venture co-founded with the Trump family, the Witkoff's family's finances are deeply entangled with the same Gulf states he's negotiating peace deals with. Witkoff claims he's divested from both, but he hasn't fully separated from the family firm, and his sons still run the companies.
You can't hear me. You're right. I was muted. Sorry. So this is More Perfect Union. This we watch More Perfect Union a lot on this channel. And what they do is they do a lot of videos. You can find them on Twitter, or I guess X if you want to call it that. I don't call it that. You can find them on Twitter. You can find them on YouTube. They do like 2-minute videos, 5-minute videos, 15-minute videos. And they do it on all sorts of subjects. We've watched them in regards to company towns. We've watched them in regards to data centers. We've watched them in regards to voting. So we have watched them a lot. Just Monty mute. Eli, that's rude. That's just rude. And so they are amazing. So if you ever want to find them for yourself, to find other things you might be interested that they talk about, More Perfect Union is where we find them. But on that note of asking, thank you, Oh Me Oh My, for the $30. You said More Perfect Union took Vice's reporters always have to mog hard AF, but made actual left-wing content W. It's true. That is true. Yeah. So W's to you. By the way, I hope we can bring it up at some point. Probably not today, but just to put this into the atmosphere for people who love to listen to long form, informational shit, and also dialogue that might be, I don't know, debate worthy. So everybody say W's to Mia, and thank you to Mia for this, because I didn't know it existed, and I think we need to start promoting this. For those of you who know what Jubilee is, for those of you who watch Jubilee, I watch clips. I will play clips. I don't watch the entirety of these things. I hate Jubilee. I'll be honest. I fucking can't stand Jubilee. I think that Jubilee is a rage bait format without a good, yes, I know they have a new one that's like fact check. They're not good at it. They're not good enough at fact checking on the fly. It is trash. Jubilee is trash, but the views that it gets is ridiculous. And yet, you could do better. And you know how I know we could do better? Because Mia just sent me that PBS does better. They run actual debate forums that aren't just about screaming over each other and not having actual facts, but it puts scenarios on the table. She sent me one that I watched on abortion and laws regarding abortion this weekend that I watched the entirety of. It was 55 minutes. Amazing. And I think that we need to start promoting that within our community. So if you want more information on that, or you want Mia or me to start sending you ones on that, I will show you, because so much better. So much better. Just thought-provoking conversation instead of watching the trash that is Jubilee. All right. Sorry, that was a complete non sequitur into what we're actually talking about. But back to... Oh, wait. Mia's going to come up for a second. We'll do that first while I do math. Hi.
I know you love math. Thank you for your math advice from yesterday. So... yeah, I think I'm actually going to stream one after you're done.
Yay, I love that idea.
I think it's one of the most amazing things that I've been fucking fascinated with, but PBS does it, and it's breaking the shit. I forgot what it was called. It's breaking the something, but either way,
you texted it to me. It'll be in my text.
So damn good. And I think a lot more people should have these types of conversations, because they are kitchen table type of, it's one of those things that you start off at the kitchen table and you're like, oh, wait, hold up. Let me think about this. It's really good.
Where the fuck is it? We texted about it. It was in here.
Did I send it in? Oh, I sent it in the group chat. You're not going to find it.
Oh, yeah, no, it's gone. That shit's gone. Then you're right. That's gone.
But yeah, I will stream after Monty, because they're really fascinating. So
I love that.
I had it as soon as I requested up, and then I lost it as soon as you accepted, because I was like, oh, look at that beautiful face.
Wasn't I can't remember what it's called now. I want to say Breaking the Bench, but that's not right. I don't think that's right. I don't remember. All right, back to how Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, all of them are making money through them and their families on genocide and just within the administration.
Show me the incentives and I'll show you the outcome. If you see where the incentive structures lie, almost every single time, you can see what the outcomes are going to be.
There's no evidence that Kushner, Rowan, or Witkoff have formalized any deals through the Board of Peace, but the incentives here are striking. On top of that, the glossy, private equity-style vision set out by Kushner, Witkoff, Rowan, and the other Board of Peace power brokers has another obvious problem.
It looked like something that was plucked out of a sci-fi novel that has absolutely nothing to do with what's happening on the ground.
So how do you go from this to that? Well, you don't. At least not yet. Because just a few weeks ago, the Board of Peace cut back their sweeping Gaza plan. And instead, it's narrowed that blueprint to a pilot camp near Rafah. Portable cabins for tens of thousands of vetted civilians run by a police force and an international stabilization unit. It looks less like a reconstruction transformation and more like a controlled experiment.
Breaking the deadlock. That's what it's called. Breaking the deadlock. Thank you.
Whether the promise is a grand sci-fi vision of New Gaza or a single contained pilot project, there's a whole second layer of players who stand to win big from.
By the way, I just love that we talked about. Can you guys focus? Can you focus on this for a second? On actual children being murdered, and then this idea of using where they lived and where they were murdered to capitalize on and make money for big corporations. Can we focus on that, or are we just gonna yell because I said that I watched something on abortion? We're just gonna yell. By the way, most calm that I've ever seen Scott Jennings ever was on that panel. You guys are just gonna yell about that? I have a number on the screen, but you guys are just gonna yell about that? We're talking about actual kids? Okay. What if the Palestinians just want to enjoy their land without skyscrapers and high-rises? Exactly.
Carrying out these plans on the ground. So I
If you think abortion is murder, you can call in and we can talk about it. I guarantee you don't understand it.
traveled to Arizona to speak with an insider who gave me a rare look into the secretive world of private military contractors.
My name is Morgan Lorette. I was enlisted in the Air Force, and then I worked for Blackwater in Iraq for 18 months in 2004, 2005. The former contractors aren't big fans of me, I'll tell you that. But at the end of the day, Blackwater really gave me the opportunity to, one, make a crap ton of money. That was always number one for me. And two, go and get that war adventure that I had been training for and been wanting, as a military member for so long.
Blackwater was a private corporate army hired by the US to fight and provide security during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. They're basically your modern-day rent-a-army.
It may very well be one of the most controversial companies in our country's history.
Kind of shadowy army in the war on terror. A privately owned and heavily armed force.
Let's call it what it is. They're mercenaries. They're hired mercenaries. That's what they are.
And what's on the table for private contractors going into these places?
What's on the table is essentially money. You're gonna make more money for the same amount of risk that you had already done.
Oh, Kayla, you never heard about Blackwater? I will have to send to you God, it's from a long time ago now. Mehdi Hassan did this forum talking about it. Talking about one of the guys who owns it. It's bad.
Before in the military.
But private security contractors don't operate under standard military laws and regulations.
It was one of the worst killings of innocent civilians by U.S. contractors in Iraq.
The accusations of indiscriminate shootings by Blackwater guards.
Of more than 30 unarmed Iraqis in Baghdad, 17 of them died, including a 9-year-old boy.
Despite a series of controversies surrounding Blackwater, it never really disappeared. It went through a number of corporate rebrands and ended up consolidating under a bigger security conglomerate called Constellus. The logos changed, but the basic business model didn't. In 2024, ex-CIA officer Phil Riley, who previously worked for Constellus, started a company called Safe Reach Solutions. As Palestinians in Gaza starved, the Israeli government refused to lift its blockade on aid and instead created a new organization backed by the US called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation that outsourced aid logistics and armed security to Safe Reach Solutions. Safe Reach Solutions then subcontracted another, smaller firm called UG Solutions. Here's what happened.
Desperately seeking food, starving Palestinians instead are met with live ammunition and stun grenades.
Witnesses say Palestinians were shot while trying to collect aid from the U.S. and Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation.
Hundreds of Palestinians have been killed while queuing for the food they thought would keep them alive.
A UG Solutions contractor alleges that it was the company's contractors who fired on civilians. UG Solutions denies his testimony.
You're taking people that are military veterans and you're putting them into a combat zone. It is going to be an absolute fiasco. This is the problem with holding private military contractors accountable, is how do you define the jurisdiction that actually governs them? It's not the Uniform Code of Military Justice. It's not the local laws. It really is this legal gray area that continues to be exploited. And the only people that end up getting screwed by it are usually the guys on the ground. It's not the companies, it's not the politicians, it's literally the guy that was standing there and thought he was making the right decision.
And now, oh, well, we have a call, but now I want you to remember when we had our conversation with More Perfect Union about company towns, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Curtis Yarvin, those conversations. Why'd you hang up? Why'd you hang up? What, because I didn't answer in 3 rings, you hung up? You're that soft? But Peter Thiel, Curtis Yarvin, Jared Kushner, Elon Musk, they would like to have everything privatized, come up with these privatized cities, and then hire private mercenaries that have no regulation through a democracy. They want to get rid of democracy. I don't know why we can't just fucking... They want to get rid of democracy. They do not want to have government oversight over their private armies and their private mercenaries. They want to be in charge of that completely. That is what they want. And these are the people that are funding Trump's super PACs, his candidates that he wants. That is what is going down right now.
The civilians on the ground, right?
I mean, from a contracting point of view, I don't care about that. Like, not to be a jerk, but at the end of the day, the rules of engagement are not the same as the military.
She said the civilians on the ground. I don't care about that. I don't care.
Gaza Humanitarian Foundation shut down in November of 2025. But just like Blackwater, the contractor networks behind the foundation didn't disappear. They adapted. UG Solutions repositioned itself around the Board of Peace, branding itself as the go-to firm for the security operations in Trump's plan. They even shared a proposal with the board. And the company is now advertising jobs like this one in Gaza to guard crossings in Rafah and protect infrastructure.
Essentially, the contractor doesn't matter, because you could go in there and you could do a horrible job, and all it's going to take is creating a new LLC over the course of 2 or 3 days, getting a couple of new people in leadership and saying, well, now I'm going to bid on that. It's always going to be the exact same people on the background.
Just weeks ago, the Board of Peace planned to grant itself sweeping legal immunity in Gaza according to a draft resolution, hoping to shield its members from arrest and prosecution. It's unclear whether this immunity is meant to extend to international courts or cover potential claims within Gaza itself. But Secretary of State Marco Rubio is now launching a campaign against the one court that could hold both the board and Israel accountable, the International Criminal Court.
Now, we talked about this. They're going to talk about it more, but we talked about this already. Why? Now, Donald Trump came out and he said, this isn't for me. This isn't for me. This is to protect Bibi Netanyahu, which in and of itself should be enough to say, what the fuck? You're going after the ICC to protect Benjamin Netanyahu because you know that he's committed fucking war crimes against the Palestinians? Okay, cool. Glad to know that. But there is underlying that it's like, no, because they're going to come after them.
As we speak, the ICC and its friends are waging a war against our country. Not with bullets or missiles, but with statutes and compacts and the force of so-called international law.
It makes you wonder, what exactly is the board planning to do that requires immunity from the law, especially in a moment when Rubio is also attacking the ICC?
I really don't think we've been able to wrap our minds around the fact that this doesn't have to remain relegated only to Gaza. It can, of course, be extended to the West Bank, but it can also be extended even further beyond. Maybe it's Lebanon and Syria, maybe it's Iran, maybe it's Ukraine.
The deeper I followed the Board of Peace's networks of influence, the more I kept landing in the same unsettling place. A system that normalizes a market for endless conflict. One where every phase of war becomes a financial opportunity. Weapons sales to Israel, raze and destroy homes and infrastructure, making a place completely unlivable. Stabilization through private security contractors. Channel global capital into redevelopment.
War will always be a moneymaker. It's amazing. I think history is going to repeat itself. It hasn't yet, but it sure as heck rhymes. It's not going to be any different than what we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan.
So what then is the alternative?
You cannot have peace without addressing historic wrongs, without addressing justice on the ground.
So maybe you start with the most obvious problem.
There are plenty of other options to pursue moving forward in terms of American policy regarding Israel, regarding Palestine, ranging from cutting off arms sales to Israel to launching new programs of sanctions, targeted sanctions against those violent settler communities in the West Bank or presumably in Gaza.
The Board of Peace is one vision for Gaza's future. The question isn't whether this plan will bring peace to Gaza, it's who gets to control what happens next and who pays the price for it. Because the more things change, the more it stays the same. Thanks for watching.
Great reporting from them. Always great reporting from them. Just that is where you have to reach out and pay attention. It's perfect actually for Midterm Monday, to be honest. That's where you have to reach out and pay attention to the people running for Congress, the people running for Senate and the House of Representatives, because you need to push for candidates who are actually going to hold us accountable and what corporations can do, what they're allowed to do, being allowed to create these entities. We need to be able to fight back against that, and the only people who can are people who can write legislation to do so. Hold them accountable. Stop profiting off of death and privatized fucking mercenaries. Stop doing that. And the only way we can do that is to push for it. So notify people who don't know, let them know what's going on, and that's the way we push forward. But Monty, they work full time. They can't spare a second for research, right? As they're on break for 5 weeks, right? They're on break for 5 weeks, right? W's to Luca for the $9.99 super chat. You said in his first term, December 22nd, 2020, Trump issued a full pardon to 4 Blackwater guards convicted of the Nisour Square massacre. I did not know that. I will have to look into that. In way of those pardons. Shocker. Are we shocked? No, not really. And thank you, Mr. Flinch, for the $5 super chat. You said, I feel like we're seriously heading into Elysium with Matt Damon going against robots. It is starting to feel so dystopian every day. I actually do not know. I don't think I've actually seen Elysium. That's probably one of the only ones I haven't seen. I am a huge sci-fi nerd, but I have not seen that one. What I will tell people is that I talked to my brother about this past weekend. I get a lot of flack from MAGA and conservatives when I bring up company towns and Weyland-Yutani and aliens, when I bring up free market, crony, capitalism, privatize everything, BioShock, Andrew Ryan, and Rapture. And they're like, you get your information from gaming and from sci-fi and from fiction? What I can tell you is those ideas and the reason that they were written come from real ideas. It is stupid to think otherwise. It is dumb to think that, oh, they're pulling from sci-fi. No, sci-fi is pulling from already exists out there, what has been written about out there. By what governments, by what private corporations are already doing or trying to do. That's where they get it from. They didn't make it up on their own. They get it from what they see. Never heard the truth is stranger than fiction? My biggest example, as I will always say, is Margaret Atwood, who wrote The Handmaid's Tale. Everybody's like, we're going to become it, we're going to become it, we're going to become it. No, Margaret Atwood did not write anything that has not already happened. She said that herself. She only wrote things that already happened in societies. Not necessarily in the United States, but in societies. Already happened. Read my comment, please. I feel like there's a connection with being political nerds and being into sci-fi. Yeah. As my husband points out, art imitates life. That's true. Guys, as you're watching, we have about 5 minutes till the top of the hour, and we did hit that 100,000. I was worried. I was worried for a minute there with you guys. I love you all so much, but I was worried that we weren't going to hit that 100,000, so thank you so much for getting those fingers in place and going and getting those taps up. I appreciate it. If you're watching over on YouTube and you have not hit that thumbs up button, I would appreciate it if you do so. Even if you're hate watching, it just helps push us onto the algorithm to have conversations possibly. So please, thank you so much if you could do that as we continue on. The last thing that I have, let's say I don't need that one, but that one is in the outline for later, is that this came out over the weekend just in regards of things that might happen with Iran. So, Trump thought opening the Strait of Hormuz was imminent. Iran had other plans. For weeks, President Trump had been laying the groundwork to declare victory in the Iran war should Tehran fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz, even floating the idea privately to senior aides that Who could have predicted this? Me? Maybe me? Maybe me. That he's willing to walk away without a nuclear deal. So, sources with it, like top aides, are saying that Donald Trump is now willing to walk away from the war in Iran as long as we can get the Strait open. The Strait was open February 27th of 2026. Up until February 28th. So now this isn't about nuclear anymore. It's just about getting the Strait open because guess what? Multiple economies, including ours, are fucking collapsing because of this bullshit. And now he's willing to walk away. And I have said this. I've said it. Since the start. It's like we knew. He is going to try to walk away and tout it as a win without getting anything accomplished. And you all are going to go, yay! That's what the fuck we said was going to happen. So again, even floating the idea privately to senior aides that he's willing to walk away without a nuclear deal, U.S. officials said. But that scaled-back objective became more difficult when Iran insisted Saturday on its highest price yet for permitting the free flow of traffic in the waterway, seeking billions of dollars in U.S. payments, the removal of American troops from the region, and an end of the U.S. naval blockade, among other things. This rapid chain of events suggests Trump's options for walking away from the conflict have again narrowed. Trump has repeatedly threatened and then backed away from a massive escalation of its bombing campaign, but the recent chaos in negotiations signaled Tehran is prepared for a long and grinding conflict. Iran's recent hardline demands for reopening the Strait make it increasingly difficult for the president to manufacture a face-saving off-ramp from the conflict, said Mona Yacoubian, director of the Middle East program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, a Washington think tank. Someone can't read? What did I read incorrectly, Danny? Gregory Brew, an Iran expert at the Eurasia Group consulting firm, said the Iranians fully believe Trump wants out and is focused on opening the Strait, which is why they're playing hardball. Hanging over diplomatic talks since April has been the White House's ultimatum that Iran will never obtain a nuclear weapon. Trump sought to include nuclear talks as part of broader negotiations with Iran, but those have proven too difficult, leading the White House in recent weeks to focus more on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. He has repeated multiple times, that the Strait is both partially open and that we control all of it. Everything, I'm reading it right now. You know, we had somebody else come up and talk about how I was reading things incorrectly, and he ended up being wrong, too. And I'm going to ask you for facts, Danny. Iran's ability to essentially choke off the waterway through sporadic missile and drone attacks has proven to be powerful leverage for the country, stalling commercial traffic and roiling global oil markets. Trump has declared repeatedly in recent weeks that the Strait of Hormuz was already fully open, but each of those promises have proven premature. Now, with less than 3 months until the midterm elections and the price of gasoline still much higher than it was before the war started in late February, Trump has been looking for ways to tell the American public that the war is won. By the way, checked crude oil this morning, not Brent, but just crude oil, $80 a barrel. In recent days, Trump told reporters that he was prepared to launch the biggest military attack since World War II, but was talked down by U.S. allies. He insisted that a deal was imminent, although one hasn't materialized yet. He's the art of the deal. On Friday, the president on social media suggested victory was already in hand, even without a nuclear agreement, linking to an article declaring Donald Trump won the Iran war. Vice President J.D. Vance told Fox News that the U.S. would continue to pressure Iran to make long-term changes in its relationship with Washington, and if not, that's fine too. We're just going to keep on applying the pressure we can apply and getting as much oil and gas out of the Middle East so that Americans can enjoy lower gas and energy prices. That's not happening. Facts that you open your Pandora box on Blue Bay. What are you talking about? We're in the middle of the game, Vance said. I played that for you because it's not a game. War is not a game. Killing hundreds of Iranian school children is not a game. Oh, of course he turned his invites off, scared little pussy bitch. And 18 service members dying is not a game. Tehran, which closed the waterway once the war began in February, has insisted that no American warships be allowed to traverse the waterway and has pushed to collect revenue from commercial vessels. Washington has said it won't accept Iranian restrictions or tolling, U.S. officials said. Oh, my OF, what about it? What about it? What about it? What about it? Guys, remember that you can mute anybody you no longer want to listen to for $2 a day, $7 a week, $25 for the month. What about it? If I was ashamed of it, do you think I would have it linked in my link tree? Did you think you discovered something about me that I didn't want out into the world? Sweetheart, thank you for networking. Thank you for promoting me. I'm so happy you did. Thanks, guys. By the way, 120 left in my goal. I don't even charge that much. 120 left in my goal. We can. Dollar Train, $2 train, $5 train to get that down. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal on the link tree in my bio. That link tree that I have the thing in that you thought that you were going to get me with, sweetheart. Thanks for the promotion. We appreciate it here. Anyway, back to the news about how Donald Trump is losing on the war in Iran. Cool. The prospects of a deal appeared to darken over the weekend when the United Arab Emirates said Iran launched a missile attack on one of its ships, and a top Iranian official laid out a series of tough demands for allowing traffic through. Mohammad Bagher Zolgadar, I probably pronounced that completely wrong, and I apologize. We're going to say Mohammed, Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, said the U.S. would need to permanently end the war, lift its naval blockade, withdraw its forces, end all sanctions, free Iran's frozen assets, pay war reparations, end threats and insults, and stop military action against Iran's militia allies around the region before Iran would open the strait, according to a report on the state news agency IRNA. Okay. U.S. officials said Trump is patient and expected to ride out the latest diplomatic snarl, especially so long as gas prices remain where they are. The average price of gasoline was $4.02 a gallon on Saturday, according to AAA. That is up from $3.16 a year ago, but down a bit from a week ago. The White House official insisted that the U.S. completed all of its military objectives against Iran. Trump's focus now is securing the flow of the world's energy through the Strait of Hormuz and will keep military options on the table should Iran further target ships, the official said. Why do you guys keep calling and hanging up on yourselves? It's interesting to me. W is Chicky for the 3353, the number. Okay, thank you. I was like, what are we doing? The number. It's the one I'm thinking it is, right? Not a different one. It's this one? Yes? Don't blame me. W's to Chicky for that. I appreciate you getting us down to our favorite number in this community. That I was just double checking. I knew the whole time. I was just checking you guys. Good job. You guys did great. Getting us down to 8647 here. I appreciate you. Love you, Chicky. So much. Put that away. On the nuclear concerns, Trump has told senior aides privately in recent weeks that Tehran is likely unable to revive its nuclear work during his presidency after the U.S. destroyed 3 primary nuclear sites last year, the officials added. That's an interesting phrasing, by the way. I just want to point that out. Is likely unable to revive its nuclear work during his presidency. But if they're able to do so during any other president, he doesn't give a fuck because he's done and he can just say, I did it! Like, that's... Look at Midnight Hammer. I did amazing. That is an interesting way to phrase it. But U.S. intelligence capabilities would likely catch any Iranian attempts to rebuild those facilities or covertly build a bomb, the president has said in recent meetings, and he is confident the threat of more American attacks would serve as an enduring deterrent. Sure, it's interesting that he will believe intelligence now, but he didn't believe intelligence then when they said there was no need to go into Iran on February 28th. Interesting. They do have to uphold some, I would think. Somewhat, Tasty Cake. I'm out of context on exact. Oh, never mind. You can't answer. I forgot. Actually, I'll play this so I can hydrate and move on to another subject.
Do you want someone muted in the chat? Is there someone spamming, making disingenuous arguments, displaying bot behavior, or maybe none of the above, and they're just a dumb bitch? Well, you can keep them muted for as little as $2 a day, $7 a week, or $25 a month. And remember, while you may contribute to their degradation kink, side eyes at you, Ruben, we don't kink shame, but it is perfectly acceptable to kink ask why. Additionally, we offer that if there is a guest you would like to drop for any reason at all, you can get rid of them for the entire day for as little as $10. And if there's somebody you would like to get rid of forever and never see again in this stream, you can have them banned for as little as $50. Pay links in the bio.
By the way, I just realized. Oops. Me and my brother totally forgot to set up the phone calls this weekend. We went and saw Spider-Man instead and said, fuck that. So me and him will have to go live at some point and figure out the goddamn phone calls. But we definitely just decided that we were going to go to the movie theater instead, and that was a better plan. So, all right. Again, if we're going to believe our intelligence, let's believe our intelligence when they said that they were not close to getting a nuclear weapon, and so there was no need to do what the fuck he did. But here we are, and he's going to try to find a way out. He has been desperately looking for a way out. And you guys are going to glaze him for it. It's interesting, but you guys can't back it up. There is that. Let's do a hard pivot, shall we? To economy shit, because they still got Kevin Hassett out here doing on some fuck shit. You know that I will stay on Kevin Hassett's neck. It's what I do. But first, we're going to go to our good boy Red Bull Golden Retriever, Harry Enten, on some polling in regards to Trump and the economy. Because guess what, folks? In a shocker to no one, except for maybe Trump, it doesn't look good.
The U.S. economy lost 23,000 jobs last month, but the White House chief economist said the economy is booming.
Real quick, though. Mayday, you said, why are you supporting Democrats? Who says I am? Which one? Oh, Danny, you were in there for a second. Come back. Come back, Danny.
Booming. What do American voters think about that? With us now, chief data analyst Harry Enten. How do voters feel about the president's work on jobs?
You know, these are the types of numbers that will make a lot of Republican members of Congress lose their jobs come November. You can see it right here. I mean, just look at this trend line. Trump's net approval rating on jobs. He is now 22 points underwater, swimming with the fishes. A very unlucky 22 points. That is...
So, the source on this is going to be Enten's aggregate. So he pulls from a bunch of polls and puts them together in an aggregate, like an average. And then you also have Reuters and Ipsos in this as well, but negative 22 points in regards to his approval on jobs. Not doing well. Why do you keep calling and hanging out? Go get a life. It's weird. Mayday, you said, what do I support? I support universal health care. I also support some form of UBI, as we can see that we're going to have technology starting to take over jobs. I'm going to give them one more chance. I'll give them one more chance. It's not the same number. That was two different numbers that called and hung up, to be fair, so. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for? Yeah, that's what I thought. You're such a little pussy bitch, aren't you? So cute. I support universal healthcare. I support UBI because we're going to need to see, something to help take care of the American people when we have this technology taking over in a lot of manufacturing jobs. It's just the way that it's going to be and the way that it is. I would like to see a move towards not using fossil fuels. That would be great. It doesn't mean we're going to give it up altogether. Obviously, that would be stupid to say so. Nobody's going to cut off altogether, but we need to start finding renewable uses for fuel. What does my husband want?
So I was looking at Bernie's plan.
Yeah.
So he wants like the U.S. government to hold like a 50% stake in all the AI companies because what they're doing is they're harvesting data from the public. So it's a public good.
Yeah.
So you're making money off of a public good. So then what would happen is then like U.S. citizens would receive like a stipend every month from the profits of these AI companies. So
yeah, which makes sense because it's our data, but then these companies get that
you're
data
using
and
all
they
of
sell
us.
it to China.
Yeah.
They're selling
You're
our
using
data.
everything on the internet to harvest and
Yeah.
you're profiting off of culture. So
Yep. No, we should be getting
All right.
paid for that. It's ours.
goodbye.
Bye. It's true. That's a fact. I would support that. Did Mayday get upset? So I need to pay more taxes for subpar healthcare? No, actually, that's incorrect. See, the only reason your healthcare is subpar is because of how much we pay for it now in regards to these insurance companies, Mayday. If you would actually look up and read anything about universal healthcare and the plans that we have for it here, we know that it would actually cost you less than what you're paying now in your check every single fucking month. Because you wouldn't have to pay a deductible. You wouldn't have to pay a copay. You wouldn't have to pay at point of purchase for your prescription drugs. So it would be cheaper, actually. And it's not. It's only subpar because there's no incentive for it to be better. You pay more now for subpar healthcare. Wild. Anybody who argues against universal healthcare, I really don't have anything to discuss with you. It just shows to me that you haven't read the numbers. That's all that means to me. Anyway.
A very unlucky 22 points. That is way down from where he was at the beginning of term number 2, where he was a plus 9 points. And the whole other thing is this was...
Mayday, you said you don't pay anything. Why don't you pay anything for your copay? You don't pay anything. Why don't you pay anything? Mayday, I mean, I'm curious now. Why don't you pay anything? So what's your insurance if you're not paying anything? Other than a copay. Dr. Joel Wallach is my doctor. Union. So you pay it with your union dues into your job?
Such a big strength for President Trump in term number 1. He was 10 points above water at this point in term number 1. So we're talking about a 32-point decline in terms of Trump's net approval rating on jobs. It is not just inflation that is hurting Trump when it comes to the economy and the Americans' voters' minds. It is jobs as well.
This is just a huge swing.
This is a
huge swing on a foundational issue that he ran on. How do people feel in general about the jobs market right now?
Why do you keep running, Danny? Why do you keep running? My contract covers my company paid insurance, free dental as well. Your contract with who, Mayday? Your contract with who, Mayday?
Now. Great question, Johnny B. And I think that this really gives the game away. I mean, just look at this. On jobs and employment, we're on the wrong track, the right track. Back at the beginning of Trump's second term, the plurality set on the right track. That ain't the case no more. I'll tell you this much. Look at that. That right track number has fallen significantly, down 11 points now to 29%. And now
there's no need to say who pays me. Right, but their contract, exactly, as Mr. Flinch points out, your company is contracted through somebody. Your company contracts your healthcare through someone. Like, what are you talking about? And Dan, no, you would need to look at the outcomes of universal healthcare versus privatized healthcare. It's not even close. My union. Oh my God. So your union dues, which by the way, W's to the liberals and the lefties for unions. Everybody give a hand. Give a hand to our wonderful, wonderful liberals through history who fought for unions to exist so that you could pay your fucking union dues so that you could have health care. Wow! Those socialists, those goddamn commies, FDR, goddamn it, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, how fucking dare you come up with Social Security and unions? Damn, 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 damn.
The contract with the union allowing you to get free health care is allowing your company to pay you less and instead provide that fucking health care. Way to walk into the fucking point, mate.
You're getting paid less because your union is paying for your fucking healthcare. Yeah. He said he doesn't have union dues. Bull fucking shit. So you're making shit up as you go. You aren't paying for my healthcare and I'm not paying for yours. Bullshit. We all pay for each other's healthcare. Do you think that when you pay for it, that it goes into a pot that's special for Mayday? There's a special Mayday pot. I'm so sorry, guys. We will get back to this in a second, I promise. But I'm just, like, floored. You think there's a special Mayday pot that's just for you? There's not. And by the way, I want to correct myself because the way it came out is not the way that I meant it in my head. FDR did not come up with unions. He was a huge proponent of expansion of unions and protection of unions. Those darn socialist leftists. Damn them.
that wrong track number, which was behind that right track, is now running ahead of it. Look at that number.
Mayday, I'm not crying. You're an idiot.
Points now. The majority of Americans say that the country is on the wrong track when it comes to jobs and employment. No wonder President Trump's numbers are so poor at this point.
And again, this gets to how people feel.
Yes.
You can't tell people how they feel. This is a matter of feelings and sentiment.
This is feelings and sentiment, and you know what? That's the name of the game in politics.
How do people feel about getting a job in general, right?
Yeah, I think what is driving this? What is driving this right track, this wrong track number to rocket on up. Well, I'll tell you what's causing it to rocket on up. Look at this. Okay.
Get a union job! This bitch just told me to get a union job! Motherfucker, you vote for people who want to get rid of unions! You vote for people who want to get rid of unions! You dumb bitch! Oh my god! I want healthcare. Yeah! Guess what? Union healthcare? Being paid for like that? We can do that at a bigger scale, and I went universal healthcare and do single payer healthcare. Oh my god. As my husband pointed out, who has also worked for a union, granted through USPS a long time ago, but worked for a union, if they are offering you healthcare through your union dues that you're paying, it's because your company is paying for it and paying you less. They're paying you less in your check every day, every month, every 2 weeks, so that they can pay for your healthcare. And then you just told me to get a union job because you know how beneficial unions are, as you vote for Republicans who are trying to actively take them away. Weakening of the unions is why Republicans are up in arms about foreign construction workers. Exactly. Because without unions, you're able to just off-writ, just fire mass amounts of people. And then guess what? They hire overseas workers. You guys create your own fucking problems and complain about them. You make more money than me? Cool. Thank you for advocating for the socialist, commie, liberal leftist ideology of unions. We love that for you, Mayday. Imagine fight. I don't have to imagine, it's right here, but imagine arguing against single-payer universal health care for all, while saying, get a union job. My union pays for my health care. The wall? The point? Why are you running?
Good or bad time
Danny.
to find a quality job. You go back just before the beginning of Trump's second term in office, the plurality, 48% said a good time. Now you had 45%.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I can't help. At least I'm not expecting everyone to take care of me, especially Big Brother. Yes, you fucking are! You expect your union to take care of you. Mayday? Yes, you are! All I am saying is take what your union does and apply that on a broader scale. You would still be paying for it because everybody fucking pays for it. You already do, you dumb bitch. You already pay for healthcare that you're not receiving. Hi, Eli.
Hi, Monty. So, first of all, I just wanted to point out, because Christopher over in the YouTube chat said, oh, don't call people a dumb bitch. Sir, that is my voice you're hearing every single day when she plays that clip, and I call y'all dumb bitches, because you are.
Sure.
But, so Mayday, when you say you want people to pay for it, let me explain how insurance works. They do not have an account that is for you, Mayday, as a person. You pay into a pool. Insurances actually need everyone to not use their insurance. That pool is for everyone. So when you say, oh, you want to pay for everybody, bitch, you already do. That is how insurance works. You fucking twit. Bye.
Bye.
Let me live in my denial.
So then somebody said, so we already have universal health care. No, because we have insurance companies. So no. Why is the U.S. wanting to be like Afghanistan by not having universal health care? Wild. Anyway, I'm sorry. That one was funny. I couldn't even.
Saying a bad time, just running slightly behind that good time. But look at this, that bad number, again, up like a rocket. We're talking about 6.
No, Mayday, I'm not mad that you have insurance. I'm mad that you don't understand how it works. I have Medicaid, you dumb bitch. I don't pay anything. Because my husband pays taxes. Okay, cool.
63% at the beginning of
They damaged the pool.
Q2 in 2026. And that good number, way down into the basement, now just 33%. It's a 30-point advantage and a bad advantage when it comes to finding a quality job.
And again, you're dealing with sentiment here, how people feel, which is harder to get them to change.
Correct.
But in other words, Donald Trump is not doing well on his economy stuff that he thought he was, but he's just not. It's not working. I thought I remembered that. I didn't. I have that sound somewhere. I just don't think I've added it to the board yet, to be fair. I'm behind on that. So let's go to Hassett. They confront him on Fox News Sunday with the fact that, again, more polling is that 76% of voters say the economy is fair or poor. It's not going well. And his response to that is?
Okay, let's start with a couple of polls on the condition.
I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to show it. I can show it. Let me show it. Nope, not that one. My labor gets me free insurance. Who else to tell him? Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna fucking tell them what they just said? Bitch.
All right, $10 to mute this motherfucker for the day. Opening bid $10. Going once.
That's what we
Fucking
want.
Ari, give me a second.
That's what we want. We want your
Jesus
labor.
Christ.
We want your labor to get you, and it wouldn't be free. It's not free. You're still paying. It's $2. It's $2. $10.
He's so fucking close.
You're so close.
The cognitive dissonance is dissidencing.
But you want me to work for your free insurance. You already do! Jesus Christ. Hi, Ari.
Wait, what does that comment say? Read it again. I missed it.
But you want me to work for your free insurance. You already do.
Okay. So, all right. Mayhem, Mayday, whatever your name is. I don't really care. Let me help you out with this. Okay. So, insurance, it's very, so like your health insurance, it's very similar to your car insurance, right? You are paying into a consistently building pot of money that when someone else gets sick, right? If someone else under your United Healthcare plan gets cancer and they are going in for treatment, that pot of money is then utilized to pay for their treatments out of money that you paid in. The small little premium that I assume you pay, let's just say $60 every 2 weeks out of your paycheck, right? And this is being very, that's a very
Well, his is
conservative
employer provided, so he said he doesn't pay anything, but that's also part of your union contract, is they probably requested a pay raise, and the company was like, hey, we'll provide you insurance in lieu of a raise.
Oh wait, this is better actually. The fact that it's employer provided also means that it's going to be the basic coverage, which means that he probably has at least a $3,000 deductible, contributes to an FSA or an HSA plan, right? Because that's the only one. They don't pay for the best version of the healthcare. How do I know? My employer offers me the same thing. But my deductible would have been $5,500. I'm not paying a $5,500 annual deductible, so I will pay a couple of dollars every 2 weeks in order to make sure that my annual deductible is only $1,500. And you know what the best part is they told me, like, my employer is very good, right? They acknowledge, right? They actually told us that, yeah, so we actually have to use our reserve funds to pay for the increase of, and this is a negotiated health plan, right? Increase that they raise the premiums.
Right.
They're paying for the increased premium instead of passing it on to their employees so that they can still offer us a no-cost option. Sorry for the sirens.
Ari's doing all this while running from the police.
Hell yeah, bitches. Actually, that's the sign of, sorry, that's the ambulance sound. Learn the difference.
Which his insurance is paying for someone.
Well, so according to them, the only thing they said they pay for is $30 copays. They don't pay for anything else, and they have free dental. I'm calling bullshit.
cap. Yeah, there's almost zero
No
way.
way.
Like you have a deductible. You cannot find, like, I've worked for multiple companies. I've held multiple different kinds of health insurance plans through these companies. I've had my dad's health insurance. I've had I've been under a lot of insurance plans. In this, like, ever since I want to say 2002, you could not find a singular healthcare plan that didn't require an annual deductible at the end of the year. Find me one. You would have to get the most premium version of health insurance, and there is no way on God's green earth in the United States of America, that is a capitalist society, that they're going to cover every single penny.
Not unless you're getting paid
single
shit.
thing.
Not unless you're getting paid shit.
Yeah, fucking Scrooge didn't wake up on Christmas and fucking provide y'all with the best goddamn insurance.
I understand low deductibles. That's what I'm talking about. I also have a low annual deductible of $1,500. That isn't low annual deductible. And even the next plan up didn't give me a lower deductible than $1,500, which is why I was like, I'm not going to go for the higher plan. It doesn't give me anything. Like, why am I going to pay more a month if my annual deductible is still $1,500? Now, if it was something like $500, sure, probably would have done that, but nah.
Yeah,
But there is not
that was
even a
just
singular
hilarious.
Anyways,
my labor
so-
pays for it. You're so close.
And then
You're almost there.
you want me to work to pay for your insurance? Newsflash, buddy, you
I already
do. You
do.
see that little Medicare line on your fucking insurance? That
Yeah.
pays for other people's insurance.
They don't understand that. They don't understand the 6% that automatically gets deducted from their taxes every single paycheck that goes directly to a Medicare pot. Don't tell them that it already exists. Don't tell them that the taxes that they pay to federal income tax pay for our military members.
Oh no,
TRICARE
socialism.
insurance on the east side of the country. I don't remember what it's called on the west side of the country, but it's not TRICARE on the don't ask questions. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell them that we pay out of their taxes. Like, that's not like shh. It's big and it's scary. All we
There's
have
also,
to do.
if you want some more socialism scary time, there's also a line on your cell phone bill.
Audrey wasn't done talking.
Bitch, please. Don't do it. Anyway.
Just wait. She'll finish,
So,
then you
like,
can do it, and then we'll move on anyway.
It's so scary to tell them that if you just expanded it to all people, the system by itself would automatically be better. That $30 a month, that $30 that you pay to get seen by your primary care physician goes away. Goes away entirely. You don't have to pay that anymore. So you get to save that for your annual physical, because we know you don't do anything more than your annual physical, because y'all still afraid to go to the doctor for some goddamn reason. Get checked out. It's not that hard. But you already pay into a bucket. Stop deluding yourself. Like, your labor doesn't give you free health insurance right now. It does give other people that option, so we do appreciate you for that.
Yes, thank you.
It also does reimburse states back, or specifically hospitals back, for uninsured people that aren't able to afford their medical bills and not leave a debt. It reimburses about 90%, which is why it's ridiculous that hospitals go after people for the full bill when they already know that there's a law that gets them reimbursed. Sorry, that was just a random tidbit. They're already getting this is another proof of how fucked our medical system is. There's already a law that gives them a reimbursement of 90% of costs of uninsured individuals that went to the hospital and couldn't afford their bills afterwards, yet they still go after the individual for the full amount, and they don't reimburse any part of it if they do get paid, right, by the individual that couldn't afford their health insurance and couldn't afford their bill at first. They don't reimburse the federal government. That's all profit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry, that was another random thing that I just tickled my brain on.
No.
Okay, anyways, Mayhem, you're paying for everyone's health insurance already.
Already.
Try harder.
And now you've had 3 different people, because I told you, Eli told you, Audrey told you, 4 if you count my husband who agreed, that you already pay for these things. It's interesting. And then you said something to the effect of, I pay nothing. I got a great wage. You idiot. You do. You do. You do. Your company does, which means you do, because they are either paying you less or you're not getting what you think you're getting in way of healthcare and you just haven't read your shit. And talking about what did you say? You said something about everybody gets healthcare and insurance gets rich. That's what your plan. No, I would just like no insurance companies at all. That would be great. Anyway, let's go back to the economy and how it's going poorly, and Kevin Hassett can't handle the that poor issue. Why are cancer plans sold separately? You know, dental, vision. Why?
Okay, let's start with a couple of polls. On the condition of the economy, what folks told us is 76% of them say it's fair or poor. And when we asked about their personal financial situation, the largest number came in from those who report they are falling behind. We have talked about this before. When can Americans expect relief?
Well, we've already seen that real wages under President Trump, which is wages after inflation, have gone up about $1,000 for the typical American middle-class family and about $4,000 for the typical manufacturing worker or construction worker. And so people are making more money than, they're having to pay in higher prices.
That's not true.
But the prices went up so much under Joe Biden, we totally understand why people are still frustrated when they go to the grocery store. I go to the grocery store myself, and I'm just stunned still at the price of beef and other products. But the bottom line is that if you want to have higher welfare for American people, then you need factory construction, you need lots and lots of job creation, and
which we're not seeing.
Machine purchases. And so right now, as an example, we've got 83,000 or so people building new factories in the U.S. because of Trump's economic policies.
I would like to see a citation. Everything that I have seen of companies that are building in the United States is because of money that they got from the infrastructure bill. I have not seen it where it is applicable to Trump's policies. Haven't found it.
And we've got the highest investment data that we've ever seen. All the way in March was like the best.
I work for it. You expect it. Mayday, the last thing I'm going to say to you is that I think it's silly to say that as if that's an insult to me. Yeah, I'm so sorry that I think being able to take care of yourself and preventatively go to a doctor, or even reactionary, being able to go to a doctor and get treated, or having your children being able to go to a doctor and not have to worry about what that is going to do with your finances. Yeah, I do expect that. I expect that out of a nation that said it is the freest nation in the world and the richest nation in the world and the best country in the world. Yeah, I do expect that. Maybe you should have a conversation with yourself about why you think it's okay for children to die because they don't have access to healthcare, food, water, shelter. Okay.
Best month ever, so that they're putting machines in the factories. And as those factories turn on, then we're going to have more construction jobs, more manufacturing jobs. And again, those are average.
Now, he's been saying this since last year. Since last year, he's been saying once the light comes on in the construction companies, there will be jobs. Again, still not because of Trump. It would be because of money that was passed through Congress under the Biden administration for the infrastructure bill. Thank you.
Wages of $4,000. Under Joe Biden, manufacturing wages, I'm not filibustering, I'm about to end. Under Joe Biden, manufacturing employment went down 233,000 workers, and wages dropped for the typical American family by $3,000. Now we've got to make up, so.
Why? And what was done about it before he left? Again, giving you information about a pandemic without the context.
We're plus 1,000. He was minus 3, but we're making progress.
So, somebody get him a tissue. Listen, he always sounds like that. He always sounds stuffy like that. I don't know. He needs some Zyrtec or some Claritin or something. So what we're going to do is I have clips from it, which I will still include just in case you just want the clips in my live outline. But we're going to watch the entire Jake Tapper and Hassett economy segment. Because I can't stand him. And so we're going to watch the entire thing. But before we do that, guys, thank you so much for getting to 200,000 likes over here. And it is only 10:30. You guys are doing fucking amazing on those taps. I appreciate every single one of you who is sitting and working your fingers. Your partners will thank you for what you guys do. Thank you guys so much for those taps. It means a lot to me and helps push us out onto that algorithm. I still have the, what is this called? I don't even know what it's called. This gift. I have this gift up there that we need to get accomplished. If we could get that accomplished, that would be great. Do not forget my gift gallery is still in there. If we could start getting some of those accomplished as well as the week goes on, it would be amazing. For me over here on TikTok, I would appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. If you're watching on YouTube, and you have not hit that thumbs up button, if you could, that would be awesome as well. Thank you so much, Jamie, for the follow over there on Twitch. Thank you guys for being here. I have 8647 left in my goal. If we could get, and Twitch is over here. If we could get that accomplished, that would be amazing. $1 train, $2 train, $5 train to the Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio. Guys, I have about an hour and a half left, so we should start working on that and get that number down. Rib Tip, you said you will pay more when it's so-called free. I don't call it free. I call it universal health care. I don't call it free because that would be stupid, right? Rib Tip, you and I both know it would not be free, but you're actually not paying more. That is a falsehood. That is how this conversation with Mayday first got started. And yes, I guess if you want to say that China has universal healthcare, that's great. Maybe we should copy what China's doing in the way of universal healthcare. Thank you, Mayday, for the promotion on that as we get into it. All right, guys, keep doing all of the good things. Yes, I do remember Ari. I know. I'm aware. By the way, guys, I'm also going to be on with Ari tonight talking to Trump supporters. So we are going to do our awesome co-hosting thing. So if you're not following Mermaid Ari Zero on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, please make sure you are doing so because we will be on tonight. It's going to be 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern for a couple hours. And we hope that we can talk to some Trump supporters tonight. Me and Ari make a great team, so I'm excited for that. All right, full interview, Jake Tapper, Kevin Hassett. Here we go.
Let us start, obviously, with the latest jobs numbers. The economy, according to...
Sorry, real quick, Rib Tip, where are you getting that from? It's not free. Universal healthcare will raise your tax bill up to 20%, according to what? And is it factoring in what you're not paying for private insurance anymore?
BLS lost 23,000 jobs in July when economists were expecting a 95,000 job gain. The job creation you boasted about for the previous 2 months, unfortunately, those numbers were also sharply revised down. It turns out 100,000 jobs were not created in May and June. You said in June that this was, quote, the strongest job market in your lifetime. By what metric?
Yeah, I think that one of the things we're seeing is that these jobs numbers are getting revised left and right. You can remember over the last couple of years, there were millions of revisions. And the bottom line is that if you look at the overall economy, then things are really, really booming. As an example, there are 83,000 construction workers building factories right now. That's a number that we've never seen before. Initial claims for unemployment.
Isn't it interesting that he pulls it out like a script?
Insurance are the lowest they've been since World War II. There are more job openings than there are unemployed workers. So there are all these things that suggested the numbers should have been really strong. And when it didn't come out strong, we sort of dug in and we saw that the two things that made it negative, one of them was a reduction in government workers, and it was mostly teachers at states, taking July off. And the other thing was...
No, he repeated this again. Teachers in states taking July off is adding to the layoff numbers. No, it's not, because teachers are not laid off for the summer. They're not laid off. They're still contracted employees. They just spread out their money. They either get paid over a 12-month period where they get paid a little bit less, or they get paid for the 10 months and they don't get paid during the summer. That's how the contracts work. It's not layoffs. It would not count as a loss of jobs because teachers are not laid off for the summer. He is lying to you. Scott, why am I angry? I'm not even angry. I'm passionate about the fact that he's lying to you and you guys fucking buy it, lap it up in glazed taint. It doesn't make any sense. The teachers were not laid off. They're still contracted employees, so they would not count in layoffs.
That the FIFA ended, and so that we had a whole bunch of hospitality workers, file for unemployment.
Danny, stop running!
In July. And so anyway, so you take those two out and you get back to what the consensus number was, about 100,000 job creation. And the point is, if that were in isolation, I wouldn't be caring about like throwing this or that on the side because it's a special story. But the fact is, everything else is so strong that I think that it makes sense that the consensus was about right.
Well, we can look at 1 month here or there, but let's take a look at the overall jobs record under President Trump. Yeah. There have been job losses for 6 out of the 18 full months of President Trump's second term. That's a third of them. And the Trump administration has only added 548,000 net jobs so far, which is considered very slow growth. It's growth, but very slow. 2 million jobs were created in the last 18 months of Biden's presidency. Are you really arguing that your numbers are better than that?
Well, I disagree with your number. We'll have to follow up on email, but I just looked.
What? How do you disagree with that number? All that Jake Tapper is citing is the same thing that me and Ari were citing last week. which is the BLS numbers. How can you dispute the numbers? You're going to have to follow up with an email? That email's never going to come because what he is citing is BLS. Bureau of Labor Statistics.
At the latest number, it was that job creation under President Trump since January 20th is about 880,000 jobs. But we won't argue about 800 or 500, factually on a show right now. But the fact is that the thing that really jumps out at us is that those are really good jobs. They're manufacturing jobs. They're construction jobs. The number of manufacturing jobs under Joe Biden dropped by 230,000. And the reason that matters is the intuition that, candidates of both parties understand that these blue-collar jobs in construction and manufacturing, they're really high-paying jobs. And so the typical construction or manufacturing worker in the U.S. has seen an increase under President Trump of $3,000 or $4,000 to salary. And under Joe Biden, it was about negative that. It dropped about $3,000. And the reason...
He's just saying shit, by the way. Not true. W's to Justin for the $2. Bye, Mayday. They're just like a rotisserie chicken going in circles, getting cooked the whole time. I saw that. You know how I know that Mayday was getting cooked? Because they pivoted to illegal immigrants. That's how I know they were getting cooked on healthcare, because they then pivoted to illegal immigrants. But W's to Justin. Thank you so much for that. Bye, Mayday. We'll see you another day because you love to be in here. So I know that we will see you.
Is that manufacturing was collapsing, and so the high-paying jobs were going away. And so I think that we'll take our record over his every day.
Well, you're talking about manufacturing jobs. I'm talking about the overall job market. Even if we go with your number, which I think incorporates January 2025, when President Trump was inaugurated on January 20th, and I'm not going to bicker on that.
That's not bicker, yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time. It's really hard to include January for either of them because they're both president for half the month. Yeah, a lot of it would be left over from the Biden administration policies, but Donald Trump was very clear on the amount. What was it? Over 100 or 200 executive orders that he signed within that first week of being back. So
it's 800,000 according to you versus 2 million under Biden. And I think the issue is that there are two things right now that the economists say are weighing on the economy. Both of them are specifically Trump policies. One is obviously the Iran war, which has led to high gas prices. The president said that war would take 4 to 6 weeks. We're now in month 6. And the second policy that's having an impact is tariffs, which, according to a recent report by the Fed, those tariffs were passed on to consumers, in the form of higher prices. So it does seem as though the president's policies have led to this economic situation where the job growth is slower than in the last 18 months of Biden's administration.
Right. Well, let's unpack these things. First of all, if you look at the latest inflation numbers, right, the consumer price index was negative for the month of June. Core was 0. That's the thing that the Fed cares about. The PCE index, which is the Fed's #1 index, was negative both for core and top line. And so all of the price data have been decelerating. Now, there was a big inflation in the previous administration, but there's been rapid deceleration of inflation under President Trump. And so if you're going to tell a story that tariffs are causing some kind of positive shock to inflation, then you got to come up with some counterfactual that explains why it is that right now inflation is running at about 0. And so...
What? Also, Jake Tapper isn't saying that. He's going to point that out, that the Fed is the one saying that the tariffs are affecting inflation. What? We'll do our handy-dandy inflation chart, don't you worry.
So I don't think that's an issue. And I think that, again, going forward, if you look at imports, so the trade policy has made everybody want to onshore their stuff. If you look at imports right now, 50% of imports in the U.S. are capital goods, which are going into those factories that are being built by the 80-something thousand construction workers in the factories. And so that's a very, very successful trade policy because it's creating jobs that we'll see in the second half of the year when the lights go on in those factories.
But that's not what Scott Bessent said. So maybe you need to get on the same page with the guy that you work with, because Scott Bessent said that 2025 was going to be where we lay out the feast, and 2026 was going to be where we finally have the feast and get to eat it. And here we are in 2026, and you are now pushing it, to next year? Because of what Donald Trump has done with his policies, his economic policies, and his war with Iran? What jobs? What are you talking about? What fucking jobs? Michael, no, I'm actually not. I'm a registered independent. You don't understand the difference between being a registered independent and being a centrist, which is not what I am. You don't understand the difference. It doesn't matter what my political affiliation is. It matters what I can talk about, what I can prove. All I'm doing is playing what Kevin Hassett is saying. Maybe pay attention to the bullshit he's slinging you.
It's not me that's saying that those higher tariffs that those costs were passed on to consumers. It's the Fed in a recent report that I'm sure you've read. But let's talk about gas prices. They're high because the Strait of Hormuz is still closed, because of the war in Iran and Iran taking the Strait hostage. A month ago, you said that you were, quote, bullish that there's going to be a heck of a lot of traffic moving through every single day, unquote, and that you expect that this will, quote, cruise to normalcy sometime really, really soon, unquote. No, that is not the case right now. And Iran, most recently, has delivered this set of demands that must be met to open the strait. And that set of demands includes the lifting of the naval blockade and sanctions, war reparations, the release of frozen Iranian assets, an end to attacks on Iran's allies. So I guess I just don't know when really, really soon is.
Well, it's happening already, Jake. And first of all, I don't negotiate with the Iranians, and I don't think I'd be very good at it.
It's happening already. No, it's not. He just lies. He just tank glazes. That is his only job, is to come on and tank glaze.
But the fact is that right in the peak of the conflict early on, you saw that oil prices were going way north of $100 a barrel. Mm-hmm. Right now, they were like high 70s late in the week. I think they're running about 80 over the weekend. Mm-hmm. And so the reason oil prices have come down is that our excellent U.S. Navy has been escorting ships out of the Gulf.
You do not get to get a clap on the back for prices coming down because of something you fucking caused. And especially when those prices were down lower before you started this conflict. We were in the lows, the middle 60s in way of oil per barrel. It was like 65, 66 a barrel of oil before February 28th. Now it's about 80. And you're going to sit here and say, well, that's just because Donald Trump is just the best and now it's at 80 when it was at 100. Why was it at 100? Because Donald Trump caused a war we didn't need to be in. Why is it at 80? Because he's trying to fix the war that he caused. It was at 66 before that. He does not get an applause for that shit. 62 was the lowest in February. Yeah, you don't get applause for that. You do not get a accolade for putting out the fire that you started.
But also, we've taken a whole number of steps, including increasing production in the U.S., waiving the Jones Act, so that right now 100 million barrels of Gulf of America produced oil are now shipped into the East and West Coast because we waived the Jones Act. That's put downward pressure on prices. Now, prices are still higher than we would like.
That's export. What does that have to do with what we're paying?
But we've taken a lot of steps so that when...
But Monty, we accomplished all our goals that we're still trying to accomplish. Yeah, no, totally did. Obviously worked.
Okay. Sorry for the background noise, guys. But I'm back. Hello. And I've thought about this for a while, but so the price per barrel on Brent oil has to be at least 60 for oil companies to make a profit.
Sure.
It was on a downward trend to get lower than $60 in February, and the oil companies were losing their minds. I don't know if anybody remembers seeing those headlines back then, but I actually do. I don't know why I'm just remembering it. But they were worried that it was going to drop below $60. And then lo and behold, we drop bombs?
That's just a coincidence. That couldn't be. That wouldn't have anything to do
Totally
with
a quinkydink.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has, you know, those two things don't coincide with another. Now I'm definitely going to go in. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go and find those articles that I remember reading about. So I'm not going to do that. We're just going to continue to live in our denial that one has nothing to do with the other.
No, totally.
Okay, thank you.
You know, that's like Ari not looking for those articles is the same way that I don't look for the articles in September of 2019 where economists were predicting a recession thanks to Trump's trade war. No, I don't look at those at all for the context of what was going on. Certainly not.
The Gulf situation is resolved, then we can expect prices to go way, way down because of all these new measures that we've taken.
I know you don't negotiate with the Iranians, but you do talk about the economy, and you said you're bullish there's going to be a heck of a lot of traffic moving through every single day.
Right, like if there
I
were
wouldn't call it a
traffic
heck of a
moving, it would've
lot. It's not a heck of a lot, though.
The price went down about 50%. So
From where he brought it up, not from where it was. He does not get a pat on the back for that.
All right.
That's kind of impressive.
The numbers released on Friday.
That's kind of impressive. It's so impressive for Donald Trump to start a war, to raise the gas prices, and then to start bringing them back down. It's so impressive to be able to do that. Like, he has to manufacture crises, and then try to fix them, and he's not good at fixing them. In order for you guys to be like, yay, Trump, we love you.
Friday show that wage growth is not keeping up with inflation. Average hourly earnings barely rose from June. Inflation is at 3.5%. That's above the central bank's target of 2%. A CNN poll a few months ago found that 61% of Americans have said that they had to cut back on groceries. Is that not a problem?
Well, it sure is a problem. Grocery prices are way too high. You know, it started out when we basically printed money and helicopter dropped into the U.S. and created a 20% inflation. In the past, I go to the grocery store, I do the shopping, and I keep an eye on prices every week. And there's stuff like the price of beef that's still really, really high and very problematic for people. The thing is that you mentioned the 1 month number, that if you aggregate over the Trump term, that again, the typical overall worker is making $1,000 more after adjusting for inflation.
Over 18 months, that's nothing. That's not shit over 18 months. They just throw up big numbers because they know $1,000 sounds really good to poor people. $1,000 over a year and a half?
And $3,000 or $4,000 more if they're in a blue-collar job. And so those people have more money for groceries, but grocery prices are still high, and we've still got a lot of work to do. Now, one of the things that we've been doing is that we've been taking steps to address these issues. So we started out with avian flu, and everybody was talking about egg prices. Egg prices are really low right now, and we just have this massive effort.
He just said we took steps to fix this with the avian flu, but then didn't explain the steps. This is what I want you to listen to. MAGA and conservatives who support these people. That's all I'm asking you to do, is to critique them and hold them accountable when they say things. He said, we have taken steps to fix that. The avian flu was really high, and then it's down now. But what did they do? Oh, nothing, because the avian flu sorted itself out on top of the Biden administration imported eggs from Turkey. Nothing.
By Brooke Rollins to address this pest that's coming in and made it so we had to shut the border to Mexico so that the pest wouldn't spread all over the U.S. And we just reopened the border for Mexico. So there should be good news on beef prices right around the corner.
How do you square you saying just...
Okay, so you stopped the importation of beef because of screwworm. I don't know how closing the border keeps the screwworm out, but sure, maybe.
Now, we still have a lot of work to do with you saying that we...
The Democrats are the one who started the avian flu. Keith. Sweetheart. Honey boo boo child.
You're living in the greatest economy in your lifetime.
Right. Well, okay, so people are losing their jobs at the lowest level since World War II. Losing your job is a really bad thing to happen to somebody. And the labor force is way bigger than it was back then, so that's a remarkable piece of data. Keynes argued that the business cycle is being driven by investment fluctuations. We've got capital investment.
Democrats personally coughed on all the chickens. Yeah.
In the US.
You get the avian flu. You get the avian flu. You get the avian flu. All the chickens get the avian flu. That's what happened. Why is he fucking smiling? I don't know. He always looks like that.
That's about the highest I've ever seen. And so we've got all the cyclical things that we normally look at saying that this is an economy that's in liftoff stage. And so, yeah, I stand by it. I think the other thing is with AI, we've got lots of estimates that say that productivity growth is around 2.5% right now, which is sort of core growth rate you should have in a typical year going forward, even before you spend money on new machines and new workers.
Kevin Hassett, thank you so much. Always appreciate you coming on.
Great to be here.
Come up.
Yeah, Bofa, that's what happened. Viking, I see that you're very upset, and my chat seems to be very upset with you. What I would say is that actually, economy is actually not my strongest subject, and I will admit that outright. And even then, even if it's a subject that I'm strong about, I always come into these conversations, and I would hope my community could vouch for me, and that I I could be a condescending bitch, don't get me wrong, and they love that about me. But I am always looking for information that I don't have or information that I don't understand. The difference is that when I get callers, a lot of the times they will say things and they're not able to show me with statistical evidence where that's the case. And so I ask for information. Bingo, she has no idea. That's not what I said. I said economy is not my strongest subject. I didn't say I have no idea about it, stupid. Do you see how you live in this binary black and white where I can admit that I know about it, but it's not my strongest subject. So if you have information that I don't have, I would love for you to be able to give me that information to read on later so that I can learn. But you guys don't do that. You play this, I win, you lose, bye-bye, and you walk away. And that's not how we move forward as a country. We have to have critical thinking skills. We have to be able to read information, and we have to be able to base our opinions on it and move forward. And you can't seem to do that. Only videos? I showed no evidence. Okay, sure. So I showed what Jake Tapper showed. Okay. Which is this. I showed what Jake Tapper showed. This is statistical evidence. This is the monthly, oh, you guys can't hear. The monthly job creation in the United States from January of 2022 to July of 2026. The source of that is going to be the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics via FRED. Okay? They're using the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and the jobs reports that came out from the months of January of 2022 all the way until July of 2026. Okay? That's what we were showing. And that's what they were showing in regards to the conversation about jobs. And see how there's job loss? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, they're not counting January. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 months of job loss in 18 months into comparison to 18 months of job growth. See? You're saying I don't have evidence. I'm showing it to you right now. You want to talk about inflation? He was talking about inflation. Would you like to talk about inflation? We can use, I like the inflation, the U.S. inflation calculator. Guess what they use? Data source. U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Oh, no. We get that when we get the CPI, which, by the way, the next CPI is coming out Wednesday the 12th. And I'll report on that, too. Where you can see the inflation, the one you guys like to talk about is, 2022, where it was really, really high, specifically June of 2022, where it was really high. But what you guys don't like to talk about is the fact that in December of 2024, it was 2.9. In January of 2025, it was 3.0. And then, Trump got it down to 2.4, 2.4. And I wouldn't even say Trump got it down, but came down. And now we're at 4.2, 3.5 because of a war he shouldn't have gotten us into. Do you see? See how I did give evidence? I didn't need to during that conversation because Jake Tapper was citing those sources. What was the other one? I don't have that on here, but we can look it up. Let's see. Not that specific month. This was in May. Let's go to we'll go back. We'll go back to the one so that we can see which one he's citing. How about that? It's going to be the best way to do it. Not if I can't find it. He cited, there it is, this one. Oh, look at what their source was. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Wages versus inflation. You get from here in 2020 to here in 2026, where you can see that inflation is outpacing wage growth. So that evidence did exist, right? Okay. Good. I'm glad that we could show you that I do have the evidence. I didn't bring it up during that point. Why? Because they had the charts up themselves. I didn't fucking need to. So then let's move on to Hassett pivoting when he's being asked about Trump taking stock and the government, socialism, taking stock in private companies, and he tries to pivot with Andrew Sorkin, who allows him to, which is annoying, but he does.
Kevin, while we've been speaking, a headline's just crossed by a company that actually the taxpayers have a big stake in, which is Intel. which has just announced a plan to offer $15 billion in common stock offering to raise money. My question to you actually is, how long do you imagine that taxpayers and the government should or should not be invested in Intel? If you recall, when we bailed out, for example, General Motors, it was for a period of time, the banks similarly. This has been quite, by the way, an investment, meaning it has worked as an investment on behalf of the taxpayers. Sure. But the question then becomes, should you exit on behalf of the taxpayers?
You know, it gives me an opportunity to hit you with some of the best news that we've seen, which is there are now 7 million kids that have opened up Trump accounts, getting their $1,000 match from the government. Secretary Bessent thinks that number is good.
What? I'm sorry. What?
But the question then becomes, should you exit on behalf of the taxpayers?
You know, it gives me an opportunity to hit you with some of the best news that we've seen, which is there are now 7 million kids that have opened up Trump accounts, getting their $1,000 match from the government. Secretary Bessent thinks that number is going to be very soon up to around 70 million. And I think that to the extent
7 million. When did that go into effect? Officially launched July 4th of 2026. The official go live. How do you get to 7 million in the span of a month?
And I'm not going to speak specifically about Intel, but to the extent that we have to come in and take an equity
Why not? He asked you about Intel. Why aren't you answering about Intel?
stake and help a company when it's on the ropes, that we have a natural way for it not to become like basically a company that's controlled by government, which is we'll have accounts. You can see that Michael Dell is putting money in accounts. We've got AI companies talking about perhaps putting money in people's Trump accounts. And so I think we've created a vehicle that can solve the problem. Whether that's what the president decides to do or not is an open.
A vehicle to solve the problem of when these children turn 18, that they're going to have to pay tax on what they pull out? Oh, okay, so we're just putting the burden onto our children. Love that for us.
Question. But I think that in the end, the whole point of the Trump account, where people are basically right now investing in.
It's taking something Trump did good and tainting it. It's already tainted. I didn't do anything to it. Didn't do anything to it. It's already tainted. My complaints about it are the idea that parents are going to be able to put money into it because parents are paying higher prices and not getting paid. As we saw, inflation is outpacing wage growth. And so where are they going to find this extra money that middle-class families don't have to put into these Trump accounts? And then whatever else that they're taking out when they turn 18 is going to be taxed.
And index funds is we want every.
Biden did that. Biden did what?
What about Biden?
What'd Biden do?
American to have capital, because if every American has capital, then every American.
I see you, synth fan. I do sometimes. A lot of the times I leave it kind of, you guys tend to do your own thing over there on Twitch that I don't really have to engage in for the most part. And there's trolls that I don't talk to over there, but.
And understands the benefit of capitalism.
Biden did the inflation. Biden did the inflation? How did Biden do the inflation, Crave? Can you please call the number on your screen and we can talk about it? I would love to talk about how Biden did the inflation. That 2.9 in December of 2024, Biden did that? W's Biden. Because Trump did 3.5, so.
And I think that putting an individual stock in there in the future is something that.
Do I forget the money to Ukraine? No, I don't forget that. Biden didn't do that. Congress did that, Crave. That's silly. Oh, sweetheart. Congress did that. And so did Trump in his first term. Do you not remember that? Obama gave them blankets. I gave them tomahawks. Trump did that too.
It is definitely worth thinking about as well.
But on Intel itself, do you think that's something we should remain in for years, for months? You know,
under Biden. So that means that it's his fault.
We could clock right now a nice big gain and call it a.
Yeah, also, yes, Blue points out Trump is still doing it through a middleman. We just have Europe buying it through us and sending it to them. You realize that, right?
day, or we could be in this for a decade. I don't know what the right answer is.
Why not make a channel hating on Biden? Because I do critique Biden, but there's no reason to critique Biden for inflation that everybody was dealing with. By the way, we didn't even have the highest inflation in the G7. That was the UK. And then we recovered faster than any country in the G7. Thanks, Joe Biden and Congress. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I think that in the end, President Trump, who has an incredible track record of when to buy and sell things, is going to make that call. But I don't think that people think that this is going to be sort of a socialist takeover. And I know that people don't think it's a socialist takeover of the capital sector of the U.S. It's a time sort of like Japan when we find a friend in need and then we step up to help them.
No, that's socialism. It's the thing that you guys are terrified of, is having the government take stock in private companies. That's exactly what that is.
Kevin, always great to see you. Thank you.
It's not. Stocks are down when Biden takes over. That's incorrect, good sport, because we saw growth in the stock market under Joe Biden's administration. That's actually not true. It's one of the things I critique him about, is the fact that he praised the growth in the stock market. And by the way, it grew at a growth rate that was bigger than it has been under the Trump administration now, just in case you didn't know that. But I actually critiqued Biden for saying, like, yay, the stock market's doing well, because that wasn't helping a majority of Americans at their dinner table. So, well, then show me a source, good sport. I would love to see an article show me a CNBC article, show me an economist who was saying that the stock market was doing bad under the Biden administration because of something that he did, because the growth rate of the stock market was good under Joe Biden. Look at a non-biased source. Give me one, good sport. Give me one. Type one in. You can't post links in the chat, which is annoying, and I get that. But can you give me the article name and where it came from? I will bring it up on my screen right now. That would be great.
What about Biden? What about Biden?
But what you're probably not going to be able to do is find it. And also, you have people like Maria Bartiromo doing the same thing that Trump is doing now, which is saying that the economy is doing great because stock market, and specifically CEOs.
So, Maria,
you give me one for Biden? I didn't make a claim, good sport, so I don't have to, sweetheart.
let me pick up on this past jobs report quickly and get your...
I can't find shit. Okay, fine, we'll do this. Let's just look up, was the stock market growth rate better under Biden or Trump? Term 2. Let's see what we get here. Let's see. We have Yahoo Finance articles. From Go Banking Rates, how the stock market under Biden compares to Trump's 2025 stock market. This was July 2nd of 2025. Let's look at it. Markets generally rise over the long term, but does the political affiliation of presidents matter to your stock portfolio? To answer this question, Go Banking spoke with 2 financial experts on how investors should navigate markets when the White House changes hands. While the past performance is not indicative of future results, the stock market has generally performed better under Democratic presidents. Uh-oh, this is already bad for you. Not because they're more market savvy, but rather due to timing, specifically where the economy stands in the business cycle. According to TD Economics, Democratic presidents have had the benefit of getting elected during the early stages of the economic cycle more often. By contrast, Republican presidents historically assumed office near the end of the cycle. To be clear, this is not to suggest markets always perform better under Democrats or poorly under Republicans. In fact, the S&P 500 delivered remarkable returns during Dwight D. Eisenhower's presidency and Donald Trump's first term, both Republican. President Biden's performance under the Biden administration, the S&P appreciated, that's good. Right? I don't know about the stock market. Appreciated by 55% based on a report from Morningstar. Not bad considering he took the helm during a once-in-a-lifetime global pandemic that catalyzed a total upheaval across virtually every supply chain. Bias? Yahoo Finance is biased, so what should I pick from? Meanwhile, the tech-heavy NASDAQ composite delivered a gain of 46% in 2021, which marked nearly 1 year of Biden's term. The S&P rose nearly 27%, while the NASDAQ gained about 21% per CNBC. President Trump's performance markets have been a roller coaster since Trump took office. The S&P 500 reached an all-time high in mid-February, but his controversial tariffs and more recently tensions in the Middle East derailed whatever momentum there was. From Trump's inauguration through June, so January 20th of 2025 through June of 2026, June 26th of 2025, the S&P 500 has gained just 1.5%, while the NASDAQ has grown 2.08. What do the experts think? Linda Jensen, a chartered financial consultant from Hart Financial Group, believes there is no reason to panic as long as you stick to a long-term approach. So this is what they are all saying. Yeah, Yahoo just quotes other articles. So we've got CNBC in here. We have their original one, which is Go Banking Rates. They're citing Morningstar, and they have all the hyperlinks to that as well. So you can look. But what's the non-biased source? You wasted my time? No, you wasted yours. The cope is real. Interesting. The stock market was good under the Biden administration. I don't know what to tell you about that. Anyway, Maria Bartiromo says that it's fine because the CEOs are doing well.
Your assessment on the fact that, President Trump is constantly talking about record markets. You mentioned there, rising wages, and what we are still seeing, fewer layoffs, but yet this week already, we're going to be hearing from Democrats about how horrible the economy is. So
yeah, but that's just propaganda. I mean, look, things are going well, and I think we all feel it.
Bitch, what? That's just propaganda. It's propaganda that we lost 23,000 jobs over July. It's propaganda that we had to revise down the jobs report in May and June to a total loss of 103,000 jobs. It's propaganda that our unemployment rate went from 4.2 to 4.1 simply because people are removing themselves from the labor market. It is propaganda that people can't afford gas and groceries right now. It's all just propaganda.
Right, Griff? I mean, look at where we are right now. You've got job creation. You've got economic growth. You've got $18 trillion of new investment.
Rip Tippy said, I do think it's BS that they're treating the gains as taxable income and not just capital gains. That's kind of shitty. Okay.
The president's main priority has been to put America first and get the supply chains back to America so that we're not reliant on, Asia for semiconductor chips, which we need for defense, or, China for pharmaceutical components. So
you're right. Thank you, Joe Biden and Congress, for the infrastructure bill and the Chips and Science Act to start to promote chip building in the United States. Thank you so much for that, Joe Biden. We appreciate it. Guys, as we keep going, make sure that we are tapping. We are almost at 300,000 likes, but really, we need to get, I have this 5-coin gift that we have not gotten accomplished. I don't know what's going on with that, but we should be able to get that accomplished. And also, 8447 left in my goal. I know that we can get working on that with the 45-ish minutes that we have left. Dollar Train, $2 Train, $5 Train, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, on the link tree in my bio. Let's start getting that goal down, please. Pay women for their labor on this app. I know you guys can, so let's do it, because you guys damn sure do it for the men. So do it for the women.
that in and of itself is such a positive for the economy and for growth. So really, everyone's going to say what they want to say in a campaign season, and I expect the campaign season is, ramping up right now.
This is cope. This is her coping very, very hard with the fact that the economy is not doing well, and she knows it.
But when you actually look at what's going on, things feel pretty good. I've spoken with a number of CEOs who tell me that business is up.
Oh, it's fine, guys. Everybody, it's fine. Tell your wives and your children as you're shopping for school supplies while also trying to figure out how to put food on the table and pay for gas. Tell them that it's fine because the CEOs said that business is up. The CEOs are doing great, guys, because we have to pay more at their businesses as they privatize and monopolize. They're doing great. They're doing awesome. Everything's fine, guys. Shut up.
Strongly, and it has to do partly with the big beautiful bill. So okay, I mean, look, all those expensive
the tax cuts that the rich got.
Options, yes.
So why do you, no worries. So why do you? I hear you, and that's all great news, and that's what Americans need to hear. But then, what do you think's leading?
Americans need to hear that the CEOs' businesses are going great. Thank you for writing our political ads for us. We love that for us.
Leading to the disconnect. And maybe some voters and Americans not feeling that way. So why is that, do you think?
I think it's messaging. I really do. I mean, the Republicans need to do a better job in telling their story, in communicating what the big beautiful bill has done for earnings. Do you know we're
for earnings? For earnings. Love that freeze frame of Maria Bartiromo, by the way. So the Republicans need to message better about what the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which nobody wants to talk about that anymore, because guess what? It wasn't popular before that, and we can talk about that. What that's doing for earnings. Earnings is only a term you use if you work as a CEO. So, wow, so glad that the CEOs are doing great. Yeah, exactly, Chris. I was really worried there for a second that the CEOs were doing bad. Anthony said, Democratic Party taxes you, dummy. They would tax my family, but at a lower, more progressive tax rate than what the Republicans actually do, because guess what? I'm not a fucking millionaire or billionaire, so they wouldn't be taxing me like that. I'd rather them tax the rich. Thanks, though, dummy. Stop cucking for them. Actually, I am going to show you real quick. Mia posted this. I don't know if this was from right before the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed. So this was June 17th of 2025. This is Pew Research, how Americans view the GOP's budget and tax bill. This is them being asked about, Americans being asked about the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Okay? Far more Americans oppose the legislation than favor it. Nearly half, 49% oppose it, while 29% favor it. Another 21% are not sure. This was before it passed. Now imagine now that we're seeing the effects, what it looks like. Okay? Majority say the GOP's budget and tax bill would help high-income people hurt lower-income people. Okay? True. Democrats overwhelmingly oppose the GOP's budget and tax bill. A smaller majority of Republicans favor it. Shocker. I wonder how they feel now. So again, they need to go out and message this better, according to Maria Bartiromo. But the problem is it was unpopular before it even passed. Again, this came out June 17th of 2025 before it passed. It passed July 4th. Or was signed July 4th, so it passed before that. They are now calling it the Workers' Family Tax Cut Act, even though that is not the name. The name is the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Because it is so unpopular. But it's fine. The CEOs are doing great. All right, so let's go on to some more coping and glazing that we have here. We have the RNC chair on News Nation getting confronted with the numbers on the economy. These are just the numbers, guys. These are just the numbers that the BLS gives out. And for some reason, those numbers seem to upset you guys, but you don't have anything to the contrary. And so the RNC chair does what you all do best, which is...
What about Biden? Let me ask you about issue number one. No matter where you are, most likely whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, swing state, doesn't matter. It's the economy. And here's what the president said, Joe, down the home stretch of the presidential campaign in 2024.
I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately, bring down interest rates, and lower the cost of energy. I will cut the price of energy and electricity in half. We're going down and getting gasoline below $2 a gallon.
But here's part of the record. Inflation, 3.5%. That is now, according to government figures, higher than the 3.2% for nationwide earnings. Gas, not $2 a gallon. As we all know, it's double that at $4. Electricity prices haven't been cut in half, as the president talked about. They continue to go up and to the right, and GDP is at 1.5%. Why do Republicans deserve to keep power in Washington if that's part of the scorecard?
People have short memories and they forget that Biden's economic disastrous, reign.
He can't even say it because he knows it's bullshit. Under Biden's, what do I say?
If that's part of the scorecard.
People have short memories and they forget that Biden's economic disastrous, reign led us to the much higher inflation, higher gas prices. And this president from day one has been working on getting these things under control.
And what was it when we just went over it? We just went over it. You guys need to stop being propagandized. You guys need to stop. It is enough. I don't know how many times I have to show you the goddamn BLS data for inflation. I don't know how many times I have to show you the goddamn data for gas to show you that it is already down. It was in a good spot. We were working on it, and it was in a good spot when Joe Biden left office. I don't know how many times we have to show you this. It was not 9% when Trump took over. My God.
If it wasn't for the
inflation was 3%. Inflation was 3% when he took office.
Thank you. Inflation was 3% when Donald Trump took office. It's 3.5 now. You do not get to tout that you did something good when it's higher. At least once more, Miss Swan, as always. Literally every day, Ari. It's every day. I love that. That was hot. The fact that you quoted that, you quote in Pirates of the Caribbean, that was hot, Ari. I can't even, ooh.
2.2% by the time voters went to the polls in November 24. And now it's higher than that, Joe.
Inflation was at 9% under Biden, though. But
not when Trump took over. Jesus Christ, do better. Just fucking do better. Do better.
I think there was a delayed feeling of all that pent-up price increases, and now that we have to deal with it, this is certainly Biden's prices that we're still dealing with and we're still getting under control.
No, it's not. It has been 18 months. It has been 18 months. When do you guys make him be accountable for what he's doing to the economy now? You do not get to blame Biden forever. Stop. Like, stop. You guys are just permanent victims. It could never be Trump. It could never be Republican policy. It could never be us. It's always going to be Biden, forever. Crazy eyes leftists, never anything different, same old talking points. The talking point of the truth? That it was 3.0 when Trump took office? Are you going to address that, Jane? You guys don't call, by the way. None of you call. You're not brave enough to because you know it's the truth. It was 3.0 when Trump came in.
So is it the Biden economy then? I mean, if it's Biden's prices,
It's Biden's disastrous economic record. This president, the working family tax cuts, no tax on tips.
There it is. What did I say? If it's all talking points, then why am I right? By the way, I just want you to know that there are a lot of videos that I play that I will watch like the first minute of, realize it says what the fuck I said it said, and put it on my outline, and I don't watch all of it. Why am I right every time? Did I not just say that they are trying to call the One Big Beautiful Bill Act the Working Families Tax Cut, even though that's not what the fuck its name is? Because they're trying to rebrand it because of how unpopular the One Big Beautiful Bill is. Did I not just say that 2 minutes ago? Why am I right then? Every single fucking time. Why am I right about them lying to you? Every single fucking time. Trump has said it's his economy. Scott Bessent said that 2025 was going to be the laying out of the buffet and 2026 was going to be when we are going to see the golden age and we are finally going to eat at the buffet. And that's not the case. And now we're going to say that that's Biden's fault again. Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. You have lost family. You have lost friends for this man who is doing nothing to benefit the American people. Nothing. But you're so tied into it. It's become your fucking personality. Wake up. Do better.
Biden economy then? I mean, if it's Biden's prices,
It's Biden's disastrous economic record. This president, the working family tax cuts, no tax on tips and overtime, has had a big impact across this country. He's been working at $19 trillion worth of investment.
Good point, Smiley. They are eating at the buffet. We are not invited. You're right. That's a great line. Absolutely.
Investments that you're not going to see right away. This president's gone to work for the American worker. That's what the Republican Party is. We are the working person's party now. He has
He made $4 billion in office last year. Personally himself, about 1.8 billion. His business that his children run for him, $4 billion. But yeah, totally the party of the working man. Yeah, totally.
A lot of empathy for people that are.
Yeah, there's nothing left for me to do but insult. To be honest, there's really nothing left for me to do with y'all but to insult you. You guys are so far removed from reality and critical thinking, there's nothing left.
Paying.
It's not. No, babe. It is. It is Caribbean if you're going on vacation. It's Caribbean if you're a pirate. Like there are differences.
These high gas prices, and he is doing everything he can.
It's like data and data. They're both correct. It's just how you use it. And I use both.
can to get these prices down. Sometimes these national security issues come up. Listen, he's a peace through strength guy. We've had 8 different peace deals around the world.
Haven't.
He's going to get this under control. We're going to get prices back down. But yes, people need to have faith that the Republican Party and this president cares about them, and we're going to move this forward.
They need to have faith. It is August of 2026. We're about to have midterms. How much longer do you have to wait? And then I have a couple CNN panels to get through here on the jobs report that I wanted to play.
But here's the big difference.
But you gotta have faith.
Difference between then and now. The jobs picture. Look at the jobs picture from the last year. Okay, we lost 23,000 jobs in the last month. But look at how many times we've been in the negative in the last 12 months, right? And it's worse than that. Wage growth has been eclipsed by inflation. When you look deeper, people are leaving the workforce. The Trump administration, they want to say it's all immigrants being deported, but it's also Americans leaving the workforce. The unemployment rate for Americans going up. So the actual difference is that under Biden, the job picture was actually much better than it is right now. That's the reality.
Yeah, people kept saying, but we're not feeling it. We're not feeling it. Now people really are feeling the actual pain. But Donald Trump is saying we're living in the golden age. If anyone asked, I should get 150% on my, exam. And you're like,
now, this is what I've said that I do critique Biden for. I critique Biden for going out there and saying that everything was good. Now, if you are looking at macroeconomic indicators and looking at the stock market, yes, like the things were starting to do better under the Biden administration into the last half of 2023 into 2024. That's just true. That's just a fact. You don't have to fucking like it, but it is a fact. And Joe Biden came out and he said that. The problem is that us, the people, we were not feeling it at our kitchen tables because the stock market doesn't mean shit to a majority of Americans. You might have a 401k that's involved in the stock market, but then it's like what, 50%, like half of America can't even be in the stock market, including with a 401k because of what they make. It's shit. You don't even have the chance to play. So doing that made people feel bad. And you know how I know? Because you guys can lie and try to gaslight all you fucking want. I know it's anecdotal, but I know that a myriad of people can support this, is that the backgrounds that people were running during that time were talking about what's the number one reason you're supporting Trump and you plan to vote for Trump. And you said the economy, the economy, the economy. We saw it with exit polls for why people voted for Trump. And it was the economy, the economy, the economy. Everybody kept saying gas and groceries, gas and groceries, gas and groceries. And we were trying to tell you that they were working on it. The Democrats put in 2023 or 2022, a bill to stop price gouging for the oil market specifically. And Republicans shot it down. It passed the House and it stalled in the Senate where Republicans shot it down. We said that they had did a general price gouging bill that the Democrats proposed. Republicans shot that down. These were the conversations we had with you guys before the election. But Donald Trump is now doing the same thing. But it's worse because the macro indicators are not great besides the stock market doing up and down well for rich people. People are hurting. And Donald Trump is telling you to shut up and feel the golden age, and that's just not how that works. Audrey, thank you. You said 62%-ish are in the stock market. Yeah, okay, that's fair. That still leaves a shit ton of people out.
if you understood economics, you would understand why you can't get 150%. I think the thing is that what we need to ask is, does Donald Trump even really understand what's going on? Does he not understand the economy is bad? Does he not understand that he's losing the war? Is it that just no one has the balls to give him bad news, so he really truly doesn't understand? We know he doesn't care about the environment or public health or parks or anything. Groceries is a made-up word. But is he so completely out of touch with what's really going on?
I mean, this.
Out of touch is probably the best way to put that. I think he lives in the 80s still. Like, I don't know if he understands the numbers, and even if he understood them, I don't know that he cares. Last one that I have, and again, it's a little bit hard to listen to, but the panel has a conversation about the big word that apparently is a scare, affordability. And the problem is that the Republicans are trying to tout affordability as something different than what it is. Affordability to the average American person is going to be what things cost to live, what things cost to fill your gas tank, what things cost to fill your pantries. And check your panties, your pantries. Sorry. And Republicans are desperately trying to move that to mean something else, and it doesn't mean something else. So they argue about that as well.
Right off the bat when he took office. Now, I know Democrats like to sit in this affordability platform. They throw this out as like a cover.
Why do you say it with an accent? Like affordability is important to people.
What does affordability mean? What does affordability mean?
Listen, at the end of the day, it's not about
affordability. Is about
can people afford their food?
Okay, yes,
can people afford their car payment? Can people afford their rent?
We've been talking about a lot.
Right. So what they're trying to point out, I know it's a very hard clip to listen to because there are like 4 different voices going at once. But affordability is what things cost. How much cereal costs, how much gas costs, how much eggs cost, how much beef costs. This is, I know the over-talking is insane in this clip, and I apologize, but it's important. This is anecdotal. Here, you guys want my anecdotal experience? Me and my mom, we went to Target. Yes, I know, we're boycotting Target, but guess what? I live in an area that doesn't have a lot of fucking stores, and shit's expensive. We needed to get backpacks for the kids. Target was going to be the best option to be able to get character or whatever backpacks for the kids for school. Okay? Sue me. Whatever. We went to Target to pick out backpacks. Okay? The kids each picked out a backpack. They got 2 water bottles. 2 22-ounce water bottles for school. We got... Bubba got 2 shirts and a pair of shorts. Sissy got 2 shirts and a pair of, it was a squirt. What else we get? I got a thing of chapstick. We got some OxyClean. Get anything else from over there? We got some B12 vitamins. And then we got 2 gallons of milk. We did not need to get the beef because we had previous beef, but we got a pack of tortillas, a pack of tostadas, refried beans, 2 cans of black olives, 2 packs of taco seasoning. This is just for one dinner, okay? Getting all of that was $314. $314 for that. That's what we mean when we talk about affordability. Is being able to afford to get my kids fun stuff for fucking school and things they need. I haven't even ordered their goddamn headphones yet. I have to go on Amazon and order their headphones. And 1 meal for dinner. Granted, would it have been cheaper going to like King Soopers? Probably. But we got it there, and it really wouldn't have been much cheaper because of the fucking cost. It's insanity. It is insanity. It's insanity. And Republicans are like, shut up. Don't talk about affordability.
The equation of affordability is productivity and innovation.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
That is how you unlock affordability.
No, it's not.
The equation of affordability is product and innovation. I'm sorry, what? Repeat that again.
No.
We go back.
I'm talking about a lot of numbers,
right? The equation of affordability is productivity and innovation.
No.
The equation of affordability is innovation. What? Did that help me at Target? I don't think that helped me at Target. It didn't. Okay. I don't think that was the equation that we used.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
That is how you unlock affordability.
No, it's not.
That's how you unlock affordability. What? Yeah, innovation is what my frozen pizza needs to be affordable. Exactly, Goop. That's, yeah, if you would just do the equation, your pizza would be more affordable for fucking sure. That one made my husband mad because he's here.
On your Minecraft crafting table, you're going to put innovation. And then you're going to unlock affordability. Yeah, Steph, it's a DLC now. You got to pay extra.
Oh my God. Like, what?
You gotta pay extra for affordability.
You just have to unlock it. It's fine. Does anybody have a cheat code for it? Because I don't know.
Like you can't pay with innovation, bitch.
So basically, make your own pizza dough, right? Which like you could do, but even that's not that cheap because we get like if you get pizza, you can't just make it. Right?
Well, and to make real pizza dough, you need 00 flour, and that comes at a premium, Mia.
I knew his tism was gonna go off.
You need high gluten flour, and that's just not cheap.
There it is. That's why I left him there, Mia. I was waiting. I left him for you.
The aisles at Vons and Ralphs and stuff like that. There's eggs and bacon.
Is what
Basic economics, bitch. Where?
that box of cereal costs.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yes, and how do you get there?
Affordability
How
is
do you
how
get
much
there?
it costs
Supply
you to put
and
gas in your
demand.
car.
I'm sorry. Is there a supply and demand problem with things like cereal and gas? Why is there a gas supply problem? Why? Oh, because Trump got us in a war with Iran. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
That's what
And
affordability
How do you
is.
get there?
And healthcare.
Innovation and
That's a
productivity
function-
has
that's a
nothing to do
function
with the
of
gas
market.
prices that
What are
people
you
pay.
talking about?
You also, I tell you
Yes,
one way
it is.
one way you
Right off the bat.
How does innovation have anything to do with the fucking cost of goods? How? Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't see how that's sure. W's to Mini D for the $25. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. That is how we get it down. Guys, we have about Kayla, you're gonna love it. We have about 30 minutes left to try and get this number down from 59.47 to 0. That would be amazing. I would appreciate it if we could do that. What is that? Oh. I'll bring that up.
Do you know you have 30 minutes? 30, yes.
Thank you, D-Man. I appreciate you. W's to D-Man in the chat, please. I appreciate it. Audrey sent me a Google search. Am I supposed to use AA overview? What are they? Bank rate? Okay. Affordability is most commonly measured in housing using the 2836 rule. The equation states that your housing costs should be at or below 28% of your gross monthly income, and your total debt payments combined, housing plus other loans, should be at or below 36% of your gross monthly income. The core rules of thumb: front-end ratio housing, gross monthly income times 0.28 equals maximum housing cost. Back-end ratio total debt, gross monthly income times 0.36 equals maximum total debt payment. Just for giggles on her. Yeah, for those of you who understood that, because Monica loves math. Do I want to say this? I don't know if I want to say this. When I have to add fractions together, I Google it. Because fuck that. The affordability equation. Lately, affordability has been the buzzword du jour, driving political discourse. Essentials like food, housing, and healthcare cost more than most younger working people can afford to pay, leaving them to struggle without hope of being able to start their own families or purchase single-family homes in decent neighborhoods. In other words, for younger generations, the American dream is dying. Even politicians and their lackeys, people who have no difficulties affording things at everyone else's expense, have had to take notice of Gen Z's discontents. They have responded with all sorts of crazy ideas about how government is supposed to fix this, including promises of free money and free stuff, imposition of price controls, and even a plan of control effort. Price of input. Okay. I was like, what am I reading? Okay. Oh, price of input. Okay. Price of input equals DMVP equals price of output X MPP of input X discount factor. I love your brain and how it works. Affordability of given output. Okay. Yeah, this one. Affordability of a given output equals MPP of labor times discount factor. Okay. Makes sense. In my head. But that doesn't add up to 300. You must have gotten a lot more than that if you spent 300. You want to go? We can go through it again. Okay. Actually, I lied. I did lie. We got 3 backpacks because my mom got one for herself for work. So we did. I'll write it. Let's write it down together. I got 3 backpacks. We got two 22-ounce SLM water bottles. Okay. That all we got from that section and that section? Yes. We got a jar of B12 vitamins. I'll do this. I don't care. I have time today. I don't give a fuck. Because all of my other segments are really long, so I don't think we'll get to them. B12 vitamins. I got a pack, a 3-pack of chapstick. 3-pack of chapstick. There was, I got 2 gallons of whole milk. 2 gallons of milk. We did get it was a relatively small bag of Mexican cheese. I remember that. This is where we got OxyClean. We got a thing of OxyClean. This is where my photographic brain, I can go down the aisles in my head. So we did that. Did we get any kind of sour cream? No, because we didn't use it. So no, we didn't do that. Did we get anything in frozen? No. Oh, I did get a, what is it? The tub of onion dip, which means that I got a party-sized bag of Ruffles for that. Party-sized bag of Ruffles. Which to add to that, we got 3 snack bags of chips for the drive home. So 3 snack bags of chips. Okay. We got the produce thing of chopped onions. Produce pack of chopped onions. And then we got 2 cans of black olives. We eat black olives with our white people tacos. We got 2 cans of black olives. We got 2 packs of taco seasoning, as I said. We got the, I think it's the 16 count tortillas. And then we got tostadas as well, because we want tostadas. We got the big can of refried beans. Refried beans. My mom got a thing of coffee creamer. So there was 1 thing of coffee creamer. You're right, there was more. And she also got 4 individual ginger ale zeros. Ginger ale zeros. I think that was it. Then I bagged it. Oh, and the 4 t-shirts, 4 t-shirts and 2 shorts that I got the kids. Yeah, $300. Yeah, $300. 314.
Bofa's point right there discounts her whole fucking equation. He says those ridges are premium, right? But the ridges were innovative.
Yeah.
So innovation does not unlock affordability because you're paying more for the fucking ridges.
Yeah, plus tax with tip.
With tip, you're tipping Target?
If you're doing the personal shopper shit, no, that was us in the store ourselves, by the way, just so we know. Since I'm sure you guys loved going through that, I just wanted everybody to know. That seems about right. I don't know if you've ever done dinner, but
No one paid to silence me, Eli. I was just silenced.
that was me. W's, thank you so much, Telroy, for the $10. He says, because I can't unlock affordable equation. You know, like we said, maybe it's an upgrade. Maybe it is an upgrade to be able to unlock the affordability question. It's like a game unlock. I don't know if that's how they're touting it. But it doesn't seem to make any sense to me. I don't know. Okay, what do I have time for? It's almost cheaper to eat at a fast food place than cook at home. Some nights it is. Like, unfortunately, some nights it is. But just, whatever. That's it. I do not have time to do the health one because I would like to go through the entire thing on that. I really, really would. Let's go through some Trump shit before we end, I guess. That's what we'll do. Let's go through this truth. This one's fun. Black and brown voters don't want communism or socialism. Not surprisingly, they are flocking to the Republican Party. They remember that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. President Donald J. Trump. Where to start in breaking this down? Where to start? One, you're comparing modern Black and brown communities to their slave ancestors, which is a thing. Hi, Mia. I'm going to shut up.
No, I just felt like I was summoned. Go ahead. Say what you need to say.
I mean, is he not is trying to say they remember that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, implying that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, which is not true. The slaves freed themselves, but you're trying to equate the modern population of Black and brown voters to their enslaved ancestors?
Yes, but also we are not our ancestors, so we can't sit there and be upset about anything that our ancestors went through. Yes.
Right. No, don't bring up the past. Don't talk about slavery. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes. And yes.
I'm squaring the circle for you. Yep.
Well, and then also Squeeby DB, there is that other point, which is that even if Abraham Lincoln was a Republican who freed the slaves, he didn't. That would be under a progressive policy because you guys don't understand the Southern strategy and how the ideology stayed the same, but the names of the parties switched.
Yes. But these are also the people who don't believe in the Southern strategy are the ones who believe in Northern aggression, the war of Northern aggression.
Right.
Yes.
That was a fun one that I came across.
Yeah. And then you, and for those that are just like, oh, yeah, he's right. He's not right because, by the way, capitalism is rooted in anti-Blackness. Because let's be so fucking for real. What did exploiting workers, where did that start in this equation of the United States? Since we want to talk about equations.
Where did Wall Street start?
So So for those of you that want to deny history and or tell people to get over it, here he is bringing up quote unquote history in a very terrible, wrong context. But of course, he's always wrong, so this makes sense. People aren't necessarily flocking to the Republican Party when it comes to Black and brown voters. It's also the way that media targets people, because there's actually a study on how they're targeting Black and brown people when it comes to political views in order to divide the Black and brown vote.
It's just like, it was just such like, oh, it's not shocking because he's just blatantly racist all the time, but it was just like, what the fuck? Like, that's how you think you're going to get Black and brown voters on your side?
It was the same way of they're taking Black jobs.
Yeah.
It's a matter of trying to quote unquote relate. It was the same way of him trying to relate to Black people by saying that, look at me, I have a mugshot now.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gross. But you guys, I see the YouTube check out real quiet. You guys can have fun with that one today? Or this week? You guys got real quiet in there. You don't defend this? I wonder why. Interesting. All right, we keep going. He keeps truthing. He's truthing about the reflecting pool again. Mia, you can stay if you want. You don't have to leave. I just want you to know that. Yeah, there we go. Yes! Send Mia galaxies. That's what I want to see. W's Bofa. That's what I want to see.
Oh, Bofa just wants to get on my good side. I'm kidding. I love you, Bofa. Golly.
As long as you're getting gifted, I don't care. I know it's going to be hard to see because it's really small. I apologize that it's really small. He's going off about the reflecting pool again. A national alert. A National Park Service career employee, a highly credible witness, saw David Hearn, act blue, in broad daylight vandalize the reflecting pool by violently ripping and tugging at the pool's somewhat delicate coating. The National Park Service employee provided this witness testimony to the U.S. Attorney's Office in early July, as seen below. Numerous other events took place, including using an acid-like material on the just-installed grass adjoining the pool. Again, I told you he's trying to correlate the two, which don't have any kind of fucking correlation. On it were written the letters 8647, a phrase probably gotten from James Comey. I didn't know James Comey originated the term 86ing. There was substantial other damage to the reflecting pool also, but unfortunately there is no video or proof other than the damage itself. But I thought last week he said that we had moving pictures, moving photographs, because he couldn't come up with the term video. I thought he said that we had that. There's no video or proof? Oh. Uh-oh. MAGA, you guys have been telling me because Trump told you that there was video proof and photograph and pictures. Donald Trump's saying now that there's not. We are working on the pool, and it will reopen shortly. As with many jobs, there was also some contractor error done by the rushing the job for a July 4th opening, but it was a very small area of this massive pool and was relatively inconsequential. Security cameras have been and are being installed. Thank you for your attention to this matter. There's already cameras at the reflecting pool. Yes, Raina, I know it's a shocker. I'm so sorry to be the one to tell you that Donald Trump lied. But this is the information he gave. The NPS employee, W1, Witness 1, stated that the defendant then knelt, placed both hands into the reflecting pool, pulling the surface of the water, and started to violently rip and tug at a portion of the large portion of the blue pool coating. It was already peeling. I can't stand this man. And that's what he's worried about, by the way, while you guys can't afford your gas and your groceries. And then we got another one. Actually, should I do this part first? Probably. Where is that? So, U.S. Appeals Court, D.C. Circuit Court has ruled against the construction of the White House ballroom, saying it requires congressional approval. Decision delayed 14 days to permit appeal. Let me see if I can find here. The White House is the people's house, and under the Constitution's property clause, Congress exercises plenary control over the building and its surrounding land. The White House is also the centerpiece of the President's Park, a national park stewarded by the National Park Service. According to the government, as the oldest public building in the District of Columbia, the White House is the crown jewel, not just of President's Park, but also of the Lafayette Square National Historic Landmark District, a site listed for preservation in the National Register of Historic Places. The founding architect of the nation's capital, designed the capital's city layout to focus on the towering Capitol building, the gleaming palace of the people in the new democracy, and to contrast it with the simple humility of the White House. So, D.C. Circuit judges, it was two, I believe it was an Obama, I want to say Clinton, and then one Trump who dissented, appointed judge, said that the construction on the White House ballroom needs to stop because it has not been approved by Congress. And I have a couple stories on that I'll put in the live outline. That was Kyle Cheney's with the actual one, and then we have Yahoo News here citing Reuters blocking the ballroom project that you can read about. But Donald Trump was mad, and he posted a couple times about it being mad, but the issue I have with the first one is that he doesn't call it a ballroom anymore. Are you not worried? 2 Obama and Biden appellate court judges just voted against the desperately needed military center required for the national security of Washington, D.C. and our country itself. Highly respected Judge Naomi Rao stated the following key points, among others, in a strongly worded dissent.
Wait, that's what he was talking about?
Uh-huh.
He was talking about the ballroom and he was talking about the military
Center? Yeah, because remember where he talked about the ballroom and he said it's going to have a drone port? And ballrooms and hospitals, or not ballrooms, excuse me. It was going to have a drone port, conference rooms, and hospitals underneath it.
Okay, but like that's what he was referring to when he was at that damn rally or whatever the fuck they call them last week. When he was like, I can't say much about this military center that we have planned.
Yeah, that is. I know this is AA overview, but it's citing PBS and Reuters on the U.S. Appeals Court blocks. U.S. Appeals Court block. Judge Naomi Rao dissented in a 2-1 D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals ruling that upheld an injunction halting above-ground construction of President Trump's $400 million White House ballroom. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the ballroom. That he's not calling a ballroom anymore. Military center. Oops, Freudian slip.
That's where you can tell he doesn't know how to read. Oh, hi, Mia. Because they didn't halt the construction of any of the military stuff. They specifically said he can continue with the underground military and healthcare facilities. So
It's
the
above
above
ground.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, the above ground isn't your fucking military facility, you stupid fuck.
Oh, hi, Calypso.
Stop calling me Calypso.
If you paid attention, you would know why your name is Calypso. Thank you.
I do know why. Because I'm holding money hostage.
At least he's honest.
But she's free to leave.
Sounds like everything a narcissistic abuser would say, and you're not even, that's not who you are. That's wild. That's a wild thing to say.
Yeah, I can't with that. No, she's really.
I love you, babe. My God, what's wrong with you? W's to Kayla for the 161, the equation of the plot. Yes, I had to pull out my calculator for that, Kayla. Thank you so much for getting us down to 4786. But he wasn't done complaining. It should worry you that he's talking about it as a military center at all, but, you know, you guys don't live in reality. So then he got really, really mad because of the words from the judges. 2 judges, one appointed by Barack Hussein Obama, the other by Sleepy Joe Biden, so I was incorrect. It was not Obama Clinton, it was Obama and Biden, said in a ruling on the desperately needed secure ballroom/military complex, including a major drone port on the roof, that each president is a temporary tenant of the White House. Here's where he gets mad. We are not tenants who pay rent and do all other things that a tenant must do. We are presidents elected by the people of the United States. States. That's how you know he was mad. Of the United States, states of America, and have many rights, including the right to fix, renovate, secure, protect, and beautify the White House grounds, which has been built and rebuilt, renovated and re-renovated, repaired, and simply made better many times since 1792, and never needing the permission of Congress or anyone else to do so. That is false. That is not true. This decision, made after much of the work has been done and paid for, is a national security threat at the highest level. It is also a national disgrace. Make America great again, President Donald J. Trump. You are a tenant. It doesn't belong to you. We know his feelings on tenants. That's probably why he freaked out. He doesn't like being called a tenant because he knows how he treated his. That's definitely what that was, for sure. Crash out.
Yeah, but also like you would like if you are like a CFO of a company, like you don't own said company, you don't own said building, you would still be a tenant. Like if you are even if you own a company and you're renting out a like, you know, a building because you can't like afford the entire fucking skyscraper, you are still a tenant. Like no matter how long you are there or not there, you are still a tenant. Unless you own said building and your name is on said deed, you are still a tenant.
Raina, Trump's not a tenant. He's an occupant. That's true. He's occupying the shit out of that White House. And we're just trying to get him out.
The fucking piss gold. If I see any more piss gold, I like.
It's so gaudy. Like, that was the whole point. That was the original iteration, was that the Capitol building where Congress sits was the shining city on a hill. Like, that's what that was. Because that's where all of our freedoms are protected and made through legislation. And that the White House was supposed to be more modest. Because, yes, the president sits there, but he is just a figurehead in protection of the government. What they have turned it into is disgusting to see. It just is. It's gross. It's gross. But last thing I have on is Donald Trump might have admitted to another crime, guys. Love that for him. So we're gonna listen to him admit
May
to
have or definitely did.
Definitely did. He definitely did admit to another crime, so I am gonna play
Just
that.
a reminder that that's also why they call the president president, because he presides. He has no fucking power. It was meant to minimize the office.
True. His tism be coming out. Okay, so yeah, not may have. He did. He admits to another crime here. Let's see if anybody can catch it, because I had to look it up and find out.
Do you, MAGA Inc., the super PAC that your allies control, has a lot of money and a lot of people?
Not my allies. I control it.
Okay.
Anybody catch it? Immediately admits to crimes.
Do you, MAGA Inc., the super PAC that your allies control, has a lot of money and a lot of people?
Not my allies. I control it.
Okay, you and your allies.
The
$800 million.
super PAC is his.
You're not allowed to control super PAC funding and direct it towards candidates. He's not allowed to direct PAC funds. Yep, that happened. Nobody's talked about it. he has immunity of crime. You can't even present evidence to a grand jury. No, so here's the thing, DSA, is people really need to read the SCOTUS ruling. And I know it's long. I know it's legalese, but they need to read through it. So he is immune from possible crimes during his time as president that are in pursuant of his job as president. That's what he's immune from. He's not immune from shit after he leaves, and it was not connected to his job as president. The SCOTUS made that very clear. And what they did, and I remember, I will always say this, I remember when the ruling came out and I read it, because I said, SCOTUS better be ready for a busy schedule once the Republicans have no power. Because they were asked, how do we determine what are, exactly, babe, thank you, that was the term, what are official duties and what are not? They asked SCOTUS this question, and SCOTUS was like, that will be determined by lower courts that then eventually get to the Supreme Court. And I said, you're about to be really fucking busy. So, yeah, they would have to argue that directing political funding is a job of the president, which would be a very, very hard thing to say.
Inc., the super PAC that your allies control, has a lot of money and a lot of people.
Not my allies, I control it.
Okay, you and your allies.
$800 million.
Are you going to spend it?
It's funny, nobody ever, of course, I'm going to do.
You're going to spend it in the midterms.
I could spend it on pretty much anything I want. I'm going to spend it I'm going to help Republicans.
It's illegal.
And so when you say I don't care.
No, I didn't say that. I said some people say that.
Yeah, look, I mean, I could do a lot easier. I didn't have to be away in Nevada yesterday. I didn't have to be in Los Angeles yesterday making speeches. I didn't have to be supporting all the people. I have a lot of,
You're okay, DSA. I know it doesn't give you a lot of room to write in TikTok chat.
I have a busy schedule. I said to somebody, wait a minute, you don't understand. I won. I'm not campaigning. Now, that's the other thing. I get a tremendous vote. I have records in many of the states, the most votes ever in Texas and Florida and many, many states, Alabama. You can go through them, many, many states.
Now, I think that might be true in some states, but I think also Reagan still beats him on a lot of those records.
The most votes ever. The question is, and they're asking this question, and I've had some great polls recently, real polls, but they're great polls. If I don't run, will those people go out?
I don't even want to listen to the rest of it. He can't run. That's against the Constitution. I don't even care to pretend like it's a reality. But yeah, that's a crime. That's a crime. My God.
Did you find it funny?
I don't think I have a funny, do I? I don't know if I have a funny. Let me check what my TikTok has in here. Not that. That's a cat.
That's a cat.
I always have cat videos.
You sound like Sparky and I.
I always have that. Oh, I mean, I have a funny, but it's about cats. It's not
That
political.
works.
It's not political at all.
I'm a cat person. Are there any other cat people out there? Yeah? Got some cat people here? Nice. I'm guessing the rest of you are dog people. Is that what it is? Yeah, I'm not anti-dog, you know. Every time I tell someone I'm a cat person, like, what does that mean, you don't like dogs? No, that's not what that means. It just means I like other people's dogs. I like dogs, I just like them over there. And I'll play with them, but then go back over there. I don't like that kind of energy in my house. You know what I mean? That annoying dog, best friend in your face all the time energy. Just like, yeah! I love you. You're home. Where have you been? It creeps me out. I don't care for that. I don't like that at all. Just in your face. Like, you want to go out? There's a tree. I know this tree. You want to hang out at this tree? What if I just keep breathing into your face? Ugh. All the time? No, thank you. That's why I like cats. Cats are more like, hey, what are you up to? Never mind. I just remembered I don't care. I'll be in the kitchen. I'll see you later. I like that. I don't need a best friend at the house. I just need like an apathetic roommate that sometimes wants to hang out. Like a dog, you can pet a dog's belly all day. They'll never get tired of it, just all day. Just like, yeah, man, never stop. You're the best. Hopefully not that creepy, but you get the idea. A cat you can pet for what, 2, maybe 3 seconds? Until it's like, all right, get away from me. I have my own things going on. I got a pile of clean laundry to lay on. Get away from me. That's what my cat does. It waits for the pile of clean laundry we haven't folded yet and just rubs on it while making eye contact, just like, everyone's gonna know. So
Are you muted again?
Damn it! Yes. I said, Chicky, you did search for those audios, and I love you for that so much because then we get wonderful ones. Oh shit! I forgot that's not playing through here, but I had. Damn it! Where is it? I posted it in the group chat though. Is that I was able to get this one?
Got your stupid ass.
So we're just collecting all of those now. Yes, I'll play what you said. What did you guys do? What'd you send me?
Well, I need you and Ray to respond to my Discord. Thank you.
Okay. I've got to play this. That apparently you.
Brooklyn. Thank you, Sir Jeffers. Will you accompany me to the mysterious wedding today? No. But Rebecca, I love you. I love you too. I love you. Marry me, Rebecca. No. Why? I don't love you. Whoopsies. Rebecca! I am in love with another. Who is this man? He is you. I love you. Marry me, Rebecca. No. Rebecca! I'm in love with your brother. Chad? I'll kill him when I find him. Or he will find you. Chad, the mysterious wedding has been our wedding all along. Rebecca and I are getting wed at the wedding today. You are not invited. Will you be my best man? Of course, brother. I hate you so much. Goodbye, brother. I'll see you at the bachelor party. Goodbye, Sue Jeffers. I will always love you.
Bitch. This is the Dems party, cat, women, and kids. I am 35-year-old with 2 children on my own and 2 cats. Yay, me. I'm sorry that you guys hate joy. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. That you guys hate joy so much. That it bothers you. Just miserable fucking people. Fucking miserable. Let me see.
Just because of your last topic, I'm going to go with the second one, but okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
See you in a second.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Let's let me get herself together. I have to pee so bad. I need to see this wedding. Yeah, that's fair. What is? I don't understand what these are. But W's to DSA Ruiz for the superfan box. I think it's like if somebody pays a gift, they get it open. I don't know how those work. Chicky did one last week, and I was just as confused as before. I was just as confused as before. But W's to you. Click on the box. I can't click on that. Click on the box. No, I have to tap it. I have to tap it, or you have to tap it. Click it when the time runs out. Get it free. Oh, okay. I get it. Okay. Why did you request?
When the timer's up, someone gets super fan.
Oh, okay. That's why. Because then Chicky said us. Okay, W. But still, either way, I didn't see W's for DSA Ruiz, and I needed.
Because yeah, they did it last week and no one opened it, so it ended up being like me, brother Mod, Ari. We all got super fan status in here now.
Oh my god. It's like, goodness.
I'm excited she found that Breaking the Deadlock series. I love that.
It's great, isn't it? I'm surprised you've never seen it.
Yeah,
I'm
Scott
so
Jennings. I've watched all of them. Scott Jennings is on there though, and it's terrible.
But he gets very uncomfortable in situations where he's not like the main event. Yeah, I knew that was coming. Everyone click the box in chat. It will. What's it got? It's got 46 seconds. 46 seconds while we wait for Mia. Let's see. Using my... Because then we'll go raid Mia. So don't go. Do not go. Don't show up in those men's chats. I don't want to see y'all. Don't. See? My numbers are already dropping. Don't fucking leave for these men. I don't want to see you in these men's. I don't want to see it. I want to see you supporting Mia. That's what I want to see. So you can watch something that's actually informational. Okay? That's what I want to see. Will remain been president because people want to keep him just like President Trump. Are you okay, Maria? Are you all right? You okay? I don't know if you're okay. 7 seconds. Click it! W Sparky! Yay, Sparky! Damn you, Sparketh! I can hear that in your voice, Kayla. I can hear it in your voice. Oh my god. I love that so much. I'm gonna send, because I don't know if she's gonna be multi-streaming because YouTube and Twitch are weird about that anyway. So I'm gonna send Twitch and YouTube to RTP. So thank you guys. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you for the super chats over here on YouTube today. Thank you guys for W Surgeon also for the gifted sub over there in Twitch. And thank you for the sub with Prime over there in Twitch. I appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow. You're going to multi-stream? You're going to multi-stream? Okay. Then never mind. We're going to sit here. We will sit here till we die. You think I care? I don't care. I don't care. I will sit here. Why are you in my chat? Do you want me to be disappointed in you? Do you want it? Oh my god, that was so loud. I'm sorry. I gotta switch that so it stops auto playing shit. I have to stop. It's gotta stop. But thank you guys for your support. I appreciate it so very much. I know we're in some dead space. It's okay. We'll figure it out. We will do it. I'll just keep playing random videos while I'm here. Fuck it. Why not?
You can always tell when Trump's heart isn't in the bigotry because it's like that with the trans people. He's like, you guys love it. I don't know why. And there was a clip I loved of him, unfortunately, where he was talking about Pete Buttigieg. And he was like, he rides his bike with his husband to work every day, which in fairness seems like a loving relationship. He couldn't even do the homophobia for the base. He had to be like, they seem happy. You can always...
That one. And then I went and found it because it's true. That did happen.
Buttigieg, who has no clue, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship. Buttigieg.
It's a nice, loving relationship. We love that for them. We do. We truly love it. Thank you, Smiley, for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you for bringing facts and current events. If I hear another debate on abortion by an 18-maybe-year-old MAGA, I'm going to scream. Yes, Smiley, I'm with you on that. I don't know. This generation of... Oh, you guys have never heard him say that? Yeah, but anyway, sorry. I'll focus. Monica, focus. This new generation of never touched a woman but feel like they deserve to talk about women's rights is insanity to me. I don't understand it at all. Yeah, they're always 19. Right, sure. Yeah, he says boot edge. He says boot edge. I don't know why. I don't know why. Why? Why are you not showing up on my YouTube yet? Let me see if you're on. Okay, you are on Twitch. So Twitch, I'm going to send you over. Goodbye, Twitchy. Can get rid of Twitch right here. Yes, I can't find her on YouTube. But Mia is live. So There's 69 people in here. A lot of you left. That's disappointing. I see how it is. I will find you in these other chats. I just want everybody to know that I will find you. But go raid Mia. I know, of course you stayed, Audie. Go raid Mia. I can't find her on YouTube. I don't know why. I have her on YouTube. I can't find her. That's not how I spell that. Like, she should show up. I can't get her on there. So, yeah, there should be 69 people raiding Mia. So go raid Mia. I will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. Go send a money raid to Mia, please. I love you all. Goodbye. I better see 69 of you in there. 69. I better. Go.